Are you gonna say anything, Ed, or
What's up, everyone? This is episode 17 of the Blurred Podcast. As always, we have Darkside.
Yo, what's up?
Green Tuner.
Hello.
Creamcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And myself, the Ed Underground. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
Doing good, bro. Man, bro, I feel like we're on a consistent schedule. Like, I feel good about this. Like,
I actually do too.
Like on Mondays, I know that we're becoming on live, talking about whatever we want to talk about, and we're actually doing it at a certain time. Like, I'm very proud of ourselves. Episode 17? Like,
17.
Yeah.
Are we on 17?
I think we're on 17, yeah.
Oh,
17, yeah.
Yeah, Ed posted episode 16 on YouTube, Spotify, everywhere else. So
finally,
this is good. Well, I mean, it was laughing within a week, I guess. So
actually, talking about that, we just talked about. So if anyone is interested in more unedited, uncensored content, that episode we posted on Spotify, it's longer, and we get into more in-depth conversations about things. Hot button issues that I wish were on there on the main podcast. So if you're interested, they still exist on YouTube and Twitch. Where we talk about some fun things,
hot takes
that I think Ed intentionally left out because of perception, and I'll stick to that idea until he adds it in. Self-censorship.
Yeah, he's like China.
He's not lying. I mean, there's censorship, so
you literally can't use certain services like YouTube and other things.
Oh, I know. I heard some things. Even the
most the Ad Underground is sponsored by Shanghai, so we need to be careful. He's got very sensitive business ties that are very delicate. Please do not ask him about free Hong Kong or anything like that.
No, Hong Kong. What is that?
China? Also, Taiwan. I don't know what that is.
What? No.
Is that a thing?
China. That's all China. Okay.
Yeah. Look, the Blurred Podcast will not be censored. I'm telling you right now.
It's not censored.
Unless, of course, we are paid to be censored. In that case, we will do whatever you want us to do.
If anyone wants to pay us enough, I'll definitely change my tune.
Absolutely.
On any subject.
Absolutely.
Matter.
Well, I mean,
go in any direction.
Well, we can talk about the money afterwards. But other than that, it's my favorite time of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
since we're talking about China. Since we're talking about China.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Since we're talking about China.
We talk about China. Oh,
yeah. Now we're gonna talk about China.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the.
Oh God, his background is up too. All right.
Yeah. You guys know what time it is. It is
starting those sounds
time.
again.
Can we get like a sound effect for sneaker time, please?
Yeah, we should get a sound effect.
Like live?
Ed used to do it when he had more love for this podcast.
All right, let's not overwhelm Ed with sound. Let's not overwhelm him with sound effects. True. All right, please. It's a very delicate situation right now.
That is true.
It's hard enough to get intros. Yeah, it's hard enough to get intros in our podcast, let alone sound effects. So
or a full episode up.
Yeah. Or not immediately deleted.
We're not deleted.
You're thankful at every corner.
That was smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so good.
So for sneakers, just another sneaker. Actually, I've never owned these pair of Jordans ever in my life. And I remember growing up as a kid, I think we've talked about it in previous episodes where as a kid, our parents just couldn't afford certain stuff. And as a kid, you never understood that. You're just like, oh, my parents just don't love me, blah, 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 redheaded stepchild, Harry Potter syndrome. Sure. But, I used to see like all the cool kids wear these sneakers and I used to be envious. I'm like, man, why can't I get a pair of these? So these are just a pair that I personally probably will never wear. I just want to own them just to have them myself.
The Michael Jackson shoe?
I would get those. I'm not gonna lie. I would never wear them. I would definitely get them. But it's the Air Jordan 12 Retros.
I remember those.
Yeah. Air Jordan 12 Retros. This is the Obsidian. These shoes, I mean, back in the day, growing up like in the 90s and 2000s, were just an awesome shoe.
I don't know when they have the diamond pattern on the sides.
it has like the little bubble. I don't know if you guys
because I can't see it. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has the little 23 on in the inside the little bubble right over here, whatever.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you gotta see my dirty nails. Yep. But yeah, these I always wanted a pair of these, and I always thought like these were so cool, but my parents would never give me a pair. And lo and behold, here I am with my own pair. And the funny thing is, like, I actually wore this. So I'm one of those nerds that when I buy new shoes, I actually wear them in the house. Like, if I wear shoes outside, then I don't wear them inside the house. That's just a rule. If you wear shoes inside the house, you're nasty. But for my shoes, if they're brand new, I literally put my shoes on and I just walk around the house. Just weird like that. So I was doing some stuff around the house, moving in and so forth, wearing these shoes, and they're super comfortable. Like, man, it's I don't know, it's just a weird experience getting brand new shoes. I love them. Great shoes. I'm kind of chilling out on shoes right now. I'm kind of getting burnt out, spending a lot of money on shoes. I think this pair was like $200 after taxes and everything. But yeah, this is my current mini grail that I got.
When did you get it?
This past week. So I got it last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. Yeah, they are a huge shoe. That's the thing. Like, so I wear a size 12 in men's US. So yeah, it's a pretty huge shoe. I actually like big shoes. I'm starting to get into more thicker sneakers at the moment. I just feel like thicker sneakers, bigger sneakers, they just feel comfortable.
What are you laughing at?
Yeah, why are you so funny? What's so funny?
Because it said thicker.
Bigger. No.
Girthy?
Girthy. Very girthy shoes.
Girthy shoe.
Veiny shoes.
Yeah, the shoes. They're
It's a girthy, veiny shoe. It's a throbbing shoe.
It throbs all the time. Yeah. I mean, this shoe is rock hard. It's rock hard. All the way up to the tip. Super hard shoe. So
careful now. That tip's sensitive.
What was I gonna say? So are you enough of a sneaker nerd that you changed your gait and how you walk? Because you know how there's people that have to walk a certain way so they don't crease the shoes.
No. I am now at a point financially where I don't have to do that anymore. Okay. I did back in the day. It's funny. I used to buy sneakers and like there's like toe guards you can buy so that they stay hard at the tip and they don't crease. So like if you could walk and bend your foot, it wouldn't bend the shoe. So it wouldn't put like premature creases in it. Now I'm at a point now I'm like, all right, if I really love a shoe that much, I really want to get another shoe, I'll just buy another shoe. That's not really a big deal. But yes, at one point I used to like walk like flat-footed, like instead of like creasing the toe, I would just like walk flat and I would just pick my foot up and just put it right back down. Like there was no like bending the foot. I had like really flat feet, really crazy. And it's funny, like I still see people do that today. And I'm like, man, like I understand the struggle. I mean, sneakers, especially now, how hard it is to actually get sneakers. I can understand like you don't want to pay resale for a sneaker. And I'm being very honest. Like I had bought fake shoes, reps. These are legit, of course. But like, especially with my rep shoes, I would beat the absolute hell out of them. I will crease them all damn day, whatever. My real shoes, I'm a little bit more careful, but other than that, I just walk normal. Like,
do you keep the tags on them, or because I remember I had a friend that would keep the tags on them? No, on the shoes.
I think that's like the corniest thing to do. Like, especially when you get shoes from like resellers and it has like the StockX tag on them or like eBay tag on them. Like, all right, yeah, you bought your shoe. Like, you're just looking like an idiot. It's like saying like, yeah, hey man, walking around like you bought a brand new car, but then you put on you have the sticker price on it and it's $100,000 more over the MSRP. You're like, hey guys, look at this. I got this brand new Toyota, but I paid $60,000 for it. Fucking losers. Like, this is how I feel. Like, dude, okay, yeah, you got a tag on it. It shows it's authentic, but 9 times out of 10, you didn't pay $100 for your shoe. You probably paid $400 or $500. I'm like, that's not a flex to me. That's kind of stupid. So, but yeah, that's my little shoe for the day.
That's it. Wow, that was a short sneaker corner.
Oh yeah, there's definitely I got more shoes in the works. It's just I just felt like let's keep it short. I mean, some people are complaining about us having a 3-hour podcast, and I don't want the sneaker talk to take up too much time.
Who dare complain about a 3-hour podcast?
Yeah, was there a complaint about a 3-hour podcast?
It's the person who edits our podcast down from 3 hours to 20 minutes.
Attempts to edit it?
Yeah, attempts to.
Well, whoever that is, you can go ahead and
I don't
just
know
shove it.
Who does that to 20 minutes, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well, it takes out at least 20 minutes of content, but anyhow.
All right, well, that's the sneaker corner, and children still starving in Africa, but the sneaker corner,
how you solve that is you just drop Air Jordans on the children.
There you go.
Technically,
they get to move faster.
Technically, you can eat the leather. I mean, you can eat the leather. Just boil it up and there you go.
That's true.
Yeah,
use that. Yeah. That's true. Use every part of that shoe.
You guys are.
Don't worry. We'll as usual.
I like how you say you guys are such jerks.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that just like we just lost a sponsorship to China. Now we just lost a sponsorship to Africa.
That's true. You know what?
Good job, guys.
China makes quality sneakers. Okay.
They make quality of everything. Everything that you have is made from China.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, and they're all willing to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. They get paid. You know what I mean?
They get paid.
They do get paid.
You want exactly.
Technically.
Yeah,
they do
technically,
get paid.
In the most technical sense, they do get paid.
Now that since we're talking about China, let's go to talk about Japan.
Ooh,
let's talk about Japan. Hot segue. Woo, nice segue. What do you guys think about Star Wars Visions?
I loved them. Oh,
I didn't watch it.
Oh, interesting.
That was it's just.
Wow, what a delay.
Go back and watch this video. Green Tuner, you paused at the perfect time.
Oh, really?
You went like, did not watch it. It was actually pretty perfect.
Well, you didn't watch it. Yet another great Blurred episode where we have not somehow. Okay. It is an hour and a half. It's like 12-minute episodes.
Literally,
is it?
It's like the simplest shit in the world. You put up a thing in the message board just as a reminder to watch the damn thing. You could have watched it before.
I don't know.
It's good.
It didn't interest me just seeing it. I was like,
I'm surprised.
Star Wars anime, blah.
That's something I've always wanted, was a Star Wars anime.
Yeah, you want everything anime. It doesn't matter.
Everything,
if it was Barney and Friends anime, you'd be fucking drooling all over.
That'd be pretty cool, though.
Yeah, exactly. SpongeBob anime. SpongeBob anime is actually
that was pretty good. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. But Star Wars Visions, it wasn't bad, and I have to give respect to the different studios that did different takes of it. It was very interesting. I mean, there were some episodes that were kind of snoozers, but like some of the action overall and the storylines, it definitely a lot of the episodes were more Asian themed, like with samurais and like Ronin and so forth. It was culturally different than what we're kind of seeing in the past with Star Wars, especially the older episodes. Now the newer episodes,
I actually thought it would be more different after the first vignette, which I really loved, the duel, which I thought was the most Asian inspired, like Kurosawa inspired type of samurai type story, which I really liked. But after that, I think they got mostly, I don't want to say generic, but they became just less tied to Japan and just more anime, anime in general, which I don't hate and I don't mind at all. There's actually one that is, I thought that Capcom would sue them for ripping off Mega Man and Dr. Light for I know it's based off of like Astro Boy, but that dude, I thought he was Dr. Light. I was like, what the hell?
It's
Mega Man
episode 6.
It's episode
probably
6. I think it's 6 or 7.
Okay, because I left off on episode 6.
Wait, so is there another?
So you didn't even finish it either?
I didn't finish it. Well, there's like 12 episodes.
You guys know we have a podcast geared towards this geek stuff. It's like watching one movie in a week is not a huge requirement.
I don't know. I saw the thumbnail and I was like, pass.
Really?
But I'll give it a watch.
Did you see the trailer?
No.
It's pretty good. I like this. I want some of these episodes to be actually a full length film or some kind of series.
You keep saying that about everything you see.
Well, no, not everything I see is like 12 minutes. So
you said the same thing about Killmonger.
Oh yeah, well that's recent.
Yeah.
So two things within recent history of what.
And if you saw about, I mean, right now he's 100% based. He's 2 for 2. He's saying from the last one to this one, you say I want whatever we're talking about to be made a full length film. That's fine. That's fine. But I think that was the Star Wars visions for the people who have seen it, which is really just me and Darkseid, as per usual.
And somewhat, he went halfway in.
Yeah,
he always does.
Yeah, he only. Yeah, he always seems to cut the content short. But
I don't. It's not so much Green Tuner. Didn't get a chance to see it. No problem. But how do you only watch up to episode 6?
No, he didn't watch up to 6.
Like he watched 4 o'clock in the morning.
Episode 5, because if he's
you couldn't put in you couldn't put in 45 more minutes in.
No,
you had to wake up in the morning.
What time was it?
I saw
like sprinkle it through.
It was like 4 a.m. So he was getting ready to go out for a drive.
TLB1. TLB1.
He was already getting
6.
sleepy.
TLB1. Yeah.
What was your favorite episode?
That's a hard one, man. There was a few that I really liked. So I'm not gonna lie. So the Ninth Jedi was really good.
The Ninth Jedi.
What episode is that?
5.
That's 5.
As long as it's not past 6, and also you're talking about.
I'm sorry. So
no, Darkseid. No, that's my favorite one so far.
Darkseid. I'm gonna talk to you. And Underground, you're muted for the rest of the thing.
I like.
You can't. But the thing is, you can't say that's my favorite one. Like we're talking about all of them.
I said as of right now.
Oh, okay. That's like saying like you tried.
Have you at Undergrad? Have you watched the He-Man series yet?
Not just the 2 episodes I've seen.
Okay.
So
just no. You don't have to like. Have you watched the whole thing?
You didn't ask me to watch the whole thing. You asked me have I watched the series yet, and I said 2 episodes. Yes. So
that's not the series. The series is
the series episodes. Is the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like saying, hey, I've watched Gundam.
Or fully caught up. Fully caught up to the series.
I'm not fully caught up now.
Okay.
All right.
So Darkseid, let's have a conversation. Yes. Yeah. For people who have completely watched the entire series, I would say out of all of them, I love the Ninth Jedi. Ninth Jedi is probably one of the best ones because it's actually one of the ones that actually surprised me. Like I was kind of blindsided by the ending of it, or like the fight scene, or the right before the big reveal, and I was just like, "Wow, that was actually kind of good." I mean, and granted, I think that the Ninth Jedi is the longest one out of all of them.
I think so. Yeah,
23 minutes. So yeah, the second one to that would be 21 minutes, which is the very last one. Akakiri.
Which I also liked.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Talk about a dark twist there.
Yeah, that was
a good one.
That was a really crazy twist at the end. The Elder was really good only because it told a story of what will happen. Like, because in all like the whole Star Wars series is about the Sith pretty much being in charge, and the Jedis are always on the brink of trying to come back. But the Elder was the opposite of that. And I really like that, of what if the Jedi were the ones in power and the Sith were the ones that are practically extinct? What would happen? And I felt like the Elder, the fact that, like the Jedi from the Elder, he was like, hey, I've never felt a dark force like this before. Like the Jedi growing up in this time period didn't know what the dark side. They knew the dark side, but they never actually experienced the dark side. They never fought against the dark side. So I thought it was like Coach was.
That's one of the cool things about this series is they're kind of sprinkled in all across Star Wars history. It's not necessarily in one point in time. You're watching little vignettes that could be before, after.
Right.
It could be, far into the past. Some of them we can't tell for sure.
Right.
What about the duel, the first one, which I really liked as well? What did you think about that one?
I thought the duel, honestly, for starting out the whole Vision series, that was a really good one to start off with. The action and how they took like the Japanese themes, and then like with the lightsabers, had the lightsaber umbrella. I thought that was like cool. Turned into a staff. I mean, that was a really, really good one. And the art style out of all of them, that was honestly, I think, the most interesting out of all of them because it was a very jerky kind of stop motion. I'm trying to recall an anime that reminds me of that, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Stop motion.
The motion.
You know what it kind of reminded me about? Like I don't know if I'm remembering right, but didn't Afro Samurai kind of feel like that a little bit? Remember that?
Yeah, it did feel like an Afro Samurai type feel.
It's not jerky so much as like you can almost see the brush strokes of the animation.
Yeah, so like
it was a style.
It's a style. Yeah. It wasn't like actual stop motion like with clay animation or dolls. It's like you were saying, like the brush strokes. You can see the motion of the brush strokes, and that is what gives instead of it being like a flat 2D picture, it breathes life into it.
And it was black and white, so it felt like an old Kurosawa film. But when the lightsaber is ignited, they were fully colored. The droids' lights were fully colored, but and I think the laser blasts are colored. So, but you're still watching a black and white samurai movie, but with like these Jedi-esque touches, which I think also added to the coolness of that vignette.
Yeah, it was really cool.
At Underground, surely you paid attention or watched the first one.
Yes. I paid attention to all the ones I've seen. Out of the ones I've seen, my favorite is the Ninth Jedi. I like the unexpected twist towards the end. And even kind of threw in my boy's lightsaber, the purple lightsaber. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Like in the prequels, how
Mace Windu.
Yeah, well, Mace Windu's not in it, but he had a purple lightsaber.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, you said your boys. So.
Well, yeah, my boy's lightsaber. Someone in the Ninth Jedi, he had a purple lightsaber. It spoilers. So.
There's definitely a cool idea behind the colors of lightsabers in that episode and the importance of really a cool concept that is not canon at all. I don't think that's how it works at all. But the idea and that's what I think I like about this. It's a cool idea. It's not canon. This is where you can do it. It looks great. By the way, the 9th episode is I don't know if you guys noticed this right off the bat, but I started noticing the studios that were making the episodes, and this one is by Production IG. And if you ever watched the Ghost in the Shell animated series that are on Adult Swim here.
Which one? Didn't they have a couple?
They had a couple, but I think they did all of them, Production IG. That's where I knew them for many years. And when I saw their name ahead of the start of this episode, I was kind of excited. My expectations were pretty high. And it definitely fulfilled them. I watched, I think, the 9th Jedi. I must have watched it twice, and the Duel I watched twice. Yeah. Now let me ask you this true otaku question here: did you guys watch this subbed or dubbed?
Yes. You already know. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I know what Creamkid's gonna say.
Yeah, it was like so. I mean, it was only the first thing I did as soon as I started the Duel.
Same.
I said I paused it like literally 1 second. Actually, no, I waited till it got past the intro. I was like, I kind of wanted to see kind of how the animation really was because I went into this really blind. Like I saw like the one trailer for it. I was like, I kind of had made my decision, but I was wondering like, there's certain animes like Big O back in like Adult Swim 290 era. Like you could watch dub and it's really great voice acting.
Yeah.
And I was like, really let me see. And as soon as I saw the animation style for the Duel, I was like, I went to the settings.
Hell no.
If Disney put only in dubbed, I promise you, I'm going to VPN into Japan, and I will read a transcript if I have to. I want to know the voice.
Well, luckily, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah, no. Actually, I have to give Disney a huge props for that because they put it in so many different languages. From the get-go, it wasn't something like English. It wasn't like the basic languages like English, Spanish, like Japanese and so forth. They had the full list of almost every well-known spoken language it was already translated in, voiced in those languages, and then they had subtitles for every language as well, which I have to give. I mean, granted, these are short episodes, but at the same time, that's a huge undertaking.
Well, fully performed and acted, and actually so I watched all of them in Japanese first, and then the ones I really liked, the ones I decided I want to watch again, I was like, all right, I'll listen to them. The English dubs, and the English dubs aren't bad, but the Japanese ones really have a striking authenticity to it that I like. When I watched it again, the English versions, I mean, I'm not going to complain, but I was like, there's something like natural to the Japanese that I don't know if it's just in your mind, but
more emotion.
That's it feels like the animation is melded with the emotion or the voiceover in Japanese, especially in the duel, which is so like perfectly suited.
It is. Honestly, so the one episode that I did watch, I watched in Japanese at first, and then I had to go back actually to a point and watch it in English because the sub did not match the subtitles. So like the subtitles will read, this is for Lop and the Ocho for anybody who's listening. There's at the very beginning, there was the narrator was talking, but the words that were being translated, you could read them quicker than the words that were being spoken. So like the translation would disappear, but they were still speaking. So I'm like, oh, maybe, Disney, as we know, or in what we saw that with like WandaVision and so forth, they make mistakes and they make changes as the series progress, or people catch something, they can post-edit it and fix it at a later point in time. So I thought that was what happened. So I put it in dub to watch Lop and Ocho, and come to find out it was just what I said. The subtitles finished quicker than the person that was speaking. And it didn't take anything away from the episode. But yeah, like the words, how they portray the emotion in the dub version, it just doesn't hit as well as the Japanese versions, the sub versions. So I absolutely loved it.
You know where I noticed it the most right away? Where? It made me so happy. It's in the duel, the bandits. The bandits had this like perfectly bandit mannerisms in Japanese where they were like a little goofy in what they were saying. Where it just was like, this is perfect. This is your stereotypical samurai bandit.
It was really good. And out of the one episode that kind of got me more emotionally than anything else was the TOB one. So TOB one,
I couldn't wait for that to be over.
TOB?
That's the Mega Man one.
Yeah, you haven't seen that one.
Okay. What episode number is that? Yeah,
6.
So Ed knows. Oh, right.
Okay, so I saw 5 then.
Yeah, so episode 6.
You saw 5 instead of 6.
Well, I thought 6 was the Ninth Jedi.
Yeah, no, he's only watched it.
All right, let's not confuse him here.
Yeah. So the reason why I liked that episode so much was, I think it honestly, because it's the idea that the Force doesn't have to inhabit a living thing to be able to be used. And he was an android, but yet he was able to. He was like, "Oh, I'm having dreams of the Force, and I see myself fighting, and protecting planets as a Jedi." He sees himself as a human child, trying to find out he's just an android, but he actually does control the Force. And his master, Professor Light was. Does he
display any kind of Force ability? I don't think he does.
I thought he did. I thought he used like Force, like a Force push at one point. After remember when he gets his tail whooped, right? So he gets his ass whooped, and then he's at the grave. And then he's like, the doctor's like, yes. And at the very end, he's like, my young Padawan. And he's like, anime power up, and then you see like the 10 hands come out. I'm kidding. Typical anime stuff. He gets powered up, but
was it his final form?
No, but and shut up. But no, I really like that episode because it reminds me of what's that one? And I don't know the back history of him, but was it the Sith Lord Grievous?
Grievous.
Isn't he
Grievous.
The one with the breathing apparatus and the arms?
Isn't he the one with the multiple arms?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't he like part droid at that point? He was an android.
Yeah,
right?
he's like his living organs are inside of a droid to keep him alive. Yeah,
right.
That's why he has that breathing thing where he's always coughing.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. We don't know the backstory of how this android was made because he's different from the other robots. Mm-hmm. So he might have, parts of a human child inside of him. We don't know. Yep. But that was the thing that I liked.
That would be a twist.
That would be a twist
with that. Like Dr.
Turn it into Akira, where it's just chunks of a boy inside
of him. Right. Wow. But that kind of would make sense. Like, because like the Professor Light Jedi Master, he goes in pretty much into exile, trying to save planets and so forth. And he's keeping that part of a secret, but he builds this one android that's special out of all of them. So that would be kind of like a weird twist. Like, hey, he did have a Padawan who got, Darth Vader, got his legs chopped off and so forth, or got destroyed for the most part, but he was able to be salvaged, like his brain was able to be salvaged, something like that, and made him into an android that still had the Force. I mean, I'm going much deeper into it, but this from it's definitely Astro Boy, Mega Man.
Oh yeah,
off. It's definitely it's like
big time.
Yeah, I mean that is a lawsuit probably waiting to happen. Because I
think it was like the creator of Astro Boy is involved in some capacity.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, because it's like they took the body.
It's definitely an homage. It's definitely homage territory. So I don't. Yeah, I would tell the Disney lawyers to go, even though they fully financed it. Yeah. So props to Disney. And this is not props to Disney for doing this because they don't need to do this. And it's like I said, no canon. None of this is attached to canon. Everyone's like dead set on canon. This is kind of the most like liberating expression of the Disney acquisition of Star Wars that I've seen that feels like, aside from the Mandalorian, this all felt very right to me. This all felt like this should have been here a long time ago. It was fun. It was energetic. All the depictions were cool. I mean, like I said, the TOB one, I thought it was a little cutesy, and I think I was just getting a little, come on, let's move on with this, because I think that one came right after The Ninth Jedi, and I was all like, yeah, and then after this one, that was the next one they showed, and I was just like, are you kidding me? Can I move this along here?
You can't go from like Ninth Jedi to like this and have like you have to like split it up between days, because if you try to like go through all of them at one time, I mean it's a mixed emotion. I did the same thing too.
I did too. Well,
but luckily right after TOB1 you get the Elder, and then you get the last one, which is really good.
Wait, Liar? What?
No, we were saying,
because you joined in with Dark Side. And I watched it too.
Yeah, we watched
it too up until the Ninth Jedi.
We're talking about all of them, but I mean, it's definitely a roller coaster ride. But
it was fun. It's a fun roller coaster ride.
No, absolutely fun. And I mean by roller coaster, it's not even like there's ups and downs. It's more of the fact that you get so many different flavors at one time, and it's hard to appreciate all what you get at one time.
This is kind of what the feeling I got watching this is kind of the feeling I wanted for What If, which I didn't get.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's What If. This is what If could have been, and What If. I mean, it's been good. I enjoy. I still think the Doctor Strange episode so far has been the best one.
It's been okay.
Okay,
it has
that's what I'm saying. It's okay.
Overall.
It's okay.
Good.
No, I'm saying it's good, and I'm saying it's good as its own individual standalone thing. It's good, because trust me, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
But what I would say, Visions is great. That's why. That's how I would break it. Visions is great. What If is good. It's passing. It's just over the threshold of good, and
barely, especially with that last episode.
What with the Thor?
Yeah.
You didn't like that?
No.
Wow.
Well, before we get to that, because before we get to that one. So, is there Ed? Well, do you want to add anything of what you've seen in Star Wars Visions?
You watched?
Yeah, which I mean, okay, I'm giving credit. You watched at least half of them, so gotta have some.
Hey, you watched 5 more than me, so
that's true. That's true. Yeah. But again, like I said,
I really enjoyed it. It reminded me of the Animatrix a little bit. all we have.
Why does everything have to go back to the Matrix? So then
I said the Animatrix.
That or Dragon Ball. Everything goes back to Dragon Ball.
So, you don't need to Animatrix was like the most typical. I mean, they did it first, right?
They did it first. That's why. Yeah, that's why I was like,
and I love the Animatrix too.
Yeah, me too. That was good.
Very excited to rewatch the Animatrix soon before the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely.
Wait, quick question. Sorry, to interrupt. So with the Star Wars thing, is it the same thing with the Animatrix, where the art is different from episode to episode?
Yes. Different studios do. It's like every little vignettes. Yeah.
And right when you start the episode, you see the studio who created it. So you see like
So it doesn't just all look like One Punch. Like they have different styles. Okay.
Yeah. Completely different.
Okay.
Wildly different.
They're literally one-shot stories. They're one-shot stories.
See, I was going to get to that. Creamcast.
Go ahead.
I thought they were going to be one-shot stories, but a couple of them are very open-ended. With like the Ninth Jedi ends with there'll be a part 2. Yeah. Lop and whatever.
The twins.
The twins one ends with like a episode 2 teaser. The Lop and Echo or whatever it is ends with a possible teaser for like a future confrontation. Yeah, so I know that this says season 1. So I'm hoping that Disney is letting another season, hopefully more, come out.
So what if this is leading into like it's like a test thing? Like, hey, if this does well,
they're testing out the waters.
Yeah, and I hope they do another season, because I would definitely look forward to it. I don't know if they would continue with the part 2 of the certain ones that looked like it was open ended, but we'll love to see it. And like I said before, I would love to see at least one of them become some kind of series, whether it be the twins or the Ninth Jedi. Would love to see one of those two become an actual like not movie length, but like a series.
Now I'm glad that Ed, you watched some of the series now, and especially the Ninth Jedi, which I have a question for you here.
Yeah,
there is definitely an emphasis on female main characters on some of these. How do you feel about that?
Oh,
did you rage shut off this after the Ninth Jedi? Is that what happened?
The father trained her.
That explains
the father trained her.
Makes sense.
No, the father trained her. If you don't remember, the
father trained her.
Yeah. How else would she know how to do all that?
So you're telling me the father trained her to full on fight?
Yeah.
Do you remember the beginning?
He didn't actually train her.
He specifically says that she just has talent, like, potential.
Yeah, he didn't say
he wasn't talking about force wise.
He didn't say anything. He didn't say anything about training.
I mean, all around as well. I mean, she's never she just picks up a lightsaber for the first time there.
I don't know if it was for the first time.
No, it was. Well,
I mean, it's definitely she's not a master of the Jedi or anything.
No, she's
interesting.
The father made lightsabers.
Sure.
For some time.
Yeah, I mean, she could turn it on and swing it around.
Yeah, just because you're a smith doesn't mean that you know how to use whatever you're smithing.
Well, I think he was a Jedi.
He was,
or he has Force talent. Whether or not he was trained is not a question. Clearly, because the Ninth Jedi takes place at a time when it's after Return of the Jedi, so the Jedi Order has been destroyed. So nobody's trained these Jedis. There's no training happening of Jedis right now. Like the lightsaber maker. We don't know his background technically, but he is. And again, this is not canon, so I mean, we're getting into the weeds here. But I think it's implied that he's making lightsabers, and in the canon, a Jedi makes their own lightsaber. That's part of the rite of becoming a Jedi. You make your own lightsaber. So this guy's making a lightsaber. So clearly, in my opinion, they're kind of self-taught. These people are just kind of grasping at feelings in the Force to guide them towards. Like, I can make a lightsaber because I have something is telling me how to make this light. Like something is guiding my hand to make these lightsabers. Something is guiding my hand to gather these Jedi or Force people together. Something is like all like, and I like that. I'm not against that idea. But I think when I was watching this, it definitely that main character, the girl, did not feel trained, but she was swinging that thing around. I love the speeder chase where she was just like on the ice, I think, platform, where she was just knocking the bolts back to them, and then right off the bat, she goes toe to toe with a bunch of Sith. What do you know?
And she did it with ease, like if she was trained.
As if she was trained. As if she was trained, yet she wasn't.
Explained it to you.
And how old do you think she was at Underground? Take a guess. Anime guess here.
Below 15. I mean, it's anime girl, so maybe 12, 13.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's typical
anime range.
You go down, you roll down on anime.
Well, you know in anime, like they'll have guys who have beards and so forth. Be like, how old are you? I'm 14. Like, what?
You're an old man. I know you're a senior high school student, so I'm old as fuck.
The only one that made sense with that was the anime with the little girls that were engineered to be hitmen.
Oh, Gunslinger Girl?
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen an anime. Yeah, I know about it.
Gunslinger Girl, great stuff.
That's a great anime.
Hold on, to go back to the Ninth Jedi. So now it's not canon, but when the Smith did pick up his lightsaber, or a lightsaber he made, it turned blue.
Yeah.
So
that's why I said, like, he has definitely some kind of background. Yeah, midichlorians probably. So, or some kind of something in him is guiding him. He makes lightsabers, first of all.
Yeah.
Like that needs to be taught. So either he is a former Jedi or he is him. Yes, he is a former Jedi or he's guided to do that, which like I said, they didn't go into detail, but I think the general theme was on all those people gathering there in the temple. They're all being drawn. That none of them are taught. They're all fighting with lightsabers. None of them are taught.
I thought
there's one kid who literally was like, "Oh, this is my first time touching a lightsaber." You remember any of this shit?
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot his name. The one guy that was in the robot suit that we
Margrave.
thought he was the bad guy
Margrave.
in some kind of way. Yeah, I thought he had called them together.
He did.
He felt him out. He felt him out through the forest. He sent out invitation. Well, we might as well spoil it at this point. We're talking about everything. So I mean, he sent out. He felt through the forest. He felt all the Jedi out in the galaxy, and he sent out invitations to these Jedi. These Jedi, either they knew they were a Jedi, or they knew they had a strong link to the Force, or they already knew that they did, or they had some type of inkling. Like they were pretty much young Padawans, Jedi at that, where they's like, hey, I feel something. This might be the Force. Then the Sith, killed all of them except for one, or two of them actually. Two of them killed all of them except for two. There was just that one guy, and then the guy who was pretty much a double. Almost like triple agent. What do you call him?
I'd say he's a triple agent. Yeah,
he's a good guy who went
pretending to be a bad guy.
Yeah, but he's really a good guy.
He wasn't pretending to be a bad guy. From what I took it, he was a Jedi, but he kind of fell into the dark side in the midst of being surrounded by the Sith.
Yeah, because he was pretending to be one of them.
Yeah, he was pretending to be he when all their sabers turned red, his turned red too.
Yeah.
He was about to pretty much attack the one Jedi guy and the girl, and then he was actually fighting against them until the very end when the Margrave was like, "Hey, stop it! You're not part of this." He's like, "Oh, my bad." Like I got caught up being dark.
Yeah, I didn't take it as pretending. I thought he actually mentally or in the Force, whatever, kind of fell into the dark side without even realizing it. Because I noticed when he fought the girl, and
he literally says it. He says, "I went too deep down the."
Went too deep down.
It's like he was undercover. I mean, we've all seen.
Well, no, not undercover.
He fought the girl.
He went undercover. He was undercover pretending. He was undercover pretending to be a Sith, and he got drawn into the Sith mentality. And then it kind of broke him out.
I don't think he went undercover though.
Okay, so he was a Sith, and he decided to become Jedi.
So you think? Okay. So you think he was a good guy fighting the girl because he was a good guy?
No, I think he was.
He knew the Mangrave though. They were pretending to not know each other. They knew each other. Do you not they speak at the end?
Yeah, they speak. I remember that part. Yeah.
Okay, so he literally went undercover, and they knew that he's undercover. He was just too deep down the hole. and he had to be broken out of it. So he absolutely was undercover.
Yeah, they pretty much beat all the Sith. The Margrave killed all the Sith for the most part. I think the girl may end up killing one, but then
he killed a couple. Yeah,
but the Margrave pretty much killed them all. And it was the Margrave. I mean, they surrounded the last guy, and then he was like, this is not you. You need to break out of this. He was just like looking, and he's like, you're right. This is not me. He's like, I was in too deep and blah, blah. So yeah, he was undercover the entire time.
Yeah, they knew each other.
Yeah, the Sith knew him. And the thing is, this is how you know he was undercover, because when they got the lightsabers, they all went red, and they turned on the one guy that went blue and the chick. And then none of the other Sith were like, wait a minute, we thought you were a Jedi this entire time. They were like, we're all Siths. This is what we came. We came here to kill you guys. So yeah, he was undercover the entire time.
Yeah, but he was Colin Farrell in Miami Vice.
Yeah, I mean, this is soul switcheroo, the whole reach around. But I mean, overall, I mean, this was really good. I really applaud Disney on this, and I really hope that in the future Disney continues to do this. I hope they continue into season 2, because there's a lot of open-ended videos or chapters in this where it's just kind of like, wow, I really do want to see, like, the last one, that whole switch around, the very last one, the Kakakiri. I'm like, man, I want to see
that ending was very good. Very good.
It was not typical. It was one of those situations like, I'm going to the dark side to literally save you. I'm here to save your life. Yeah. And I have to do, and then she's like, where are you going? It's like, he's like, I got to
do what I got to do. Yeah.
He's like, pretty much, I had to do what I got to do. Now I'm part of the dark side. I literally sold my soul to save you.
Yeah.
And
very cool.
Like, the fact, I wish they would go and do a whole storyline of, going
now in correct me if I'm wrong here, Creamcast. In Lop and Echo, doesn't the girl who uses the lightsaber have no training at all?
She has no training at all.
Zero training.
And the ninth Jedi?
No, in Lop and Echo, you haven't gotten to it yet.
You haven't gotten to it. It's like episode 8.
Like literally people have no training and shit, and they're just like going to town.
The funny thing is, it is always, this is going to send Ed Underground to the moon.
Yeah, sorry, tainting the episode for Ed Underground.
Fuck the Ed Underground is what I say.
No, I'd rather see this.
All of the people who get superpowers are women.
No.
None of the guys.
Is that true?
Zero. Yeah, because think of the stranger, right? So the stranger, or the elder. I'm sorry, the elder, the one Padawan, he gets his ass whooped instantly.
Yes, he does.
Dude moves out the double lifesavers.
That's true.
He's like, yeah. Even the elder's like, yeah, you're not gonna last much longer. The guy was like, fuck you, I can do what I want. And he almost gets killed in the second strike. And the only reason why the elder loses is because, the guy, I'm not gonna ruin it, but he gets his ass whooped. Actually, you know what? I'll take it back. That's technically not true, because only other time where a guy comes out of nowhere and is super powerful, but he's not technically a boy, is TOB1. So Toby is technically, he goes from 0 to nothing as a Jedi, or as a Jedi in training.
TOB1?
TOB1.
Yeah.
Episode 6. You haven't seen it.
Oh, episode 6.
And it's like, talking to you when you read, you close your eyes like through half of the book, and then we still want you to talk about it. Like, we were like talking about something. He's like, TOB1, the Lop and Ocho. Like,
well, I don't know what TOB, the acronym TOB1, what that was.
If you watched the episode, you would. If you watch all the series, you would know.
Well,
I'm just saying.
I will watch it soon.
We'll see.
My child.
We'll see.
Yeah,
sure you will.
Next week you'll know everything about Chad Ocho Cinco.
When adults are talking about Star Wars, let the adults talk.
Yes, we are talking about Star Wars. Let's continue.
Overall, so I guess final thought. Dark Side.
Yeah.
What is, if you had to, let's do a ranking system right now. You want to do a ranking system, or you want to wait until the rest of these guys watch it?
we could wait so we could wait so we can talk about it again. I mean, give us a reason to revisit it.
Yeah, definitely.
Fine. I'll watch it then.
We could do that. But yeah, generally, I echo your thoughts. I think it's the step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I hope we get more of them, and it felt really good.
It felt organic.
It felt organic, and definitely the direction of the Star Wars universe forces female.
Forces female.
We can all agree on that. Yep. Even the Ed Underground agrees on that. It's very cool.
Not canon, but okay.
Yeah.
Forces female, and the females on this one did a phenomenal job. And honestly, I want to continue to see their stories.
Remains to be seen. Me and Ed have to watch the rest of it, and we'll give our 2 cents. Okay.
Nice. Well, now that we've talked about
feminist propaganda,
and all this other sort of stuff, let's talk about what if. So, Green Chin, you obviously had some negative viewpoints on the last one.
All I said is that overall the series is okay.
No. You said the last one. You said the last episode was not good.
Oh, I didn't like it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you have a negative viewpoint on it. Why?
Yeah, it was just boring. It's basically like a frat episode.
Okay.
You know, with oh no, my mom's coming down. I'm gonna shake in my boots. Blah 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 blah. It added nothing. I took nothing away from it.
Damn.
It was basically empty calories. It was the Doritos of the season where it tastes good for a bit, and then that's it.
It was the Bud Light. It was the Bud Light of beers. Corona Light. What's the other one? It starts with an A.
Seltzer?
Amstel?
Amstel, yeah. Amstel Light. I mean, it was absolutely... You're so
well, I haven't seen this episode. I saw the trailer for it.
Well, specifically after watching the Killmonger.
Hey, you didn't watch this either?
No, because I saw the trailer and I was not interested.
I mean, Ed's
an incomplete watcher.
Hold on, so wait.
What do we talk about here? Wait, is this a political podcast that I'm not aware of? Like, this is the one job we have.
So
to watch the damn episode.
We're turning it into a no spin zone. Okay.
Clearly we are.
All right. I didn't see the Visions. I haven't to see up to episode 5.
Well, whatever. You're not missing much. Like I said, especially after watching the Killmonger one, you know, which had an interesting twist and story to it. And go into basically, you know, Animal House on Earth or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was just disappointing.
Yeah, there's definitely a trend in What If where they're like the best ones are the darkest ones, or the ones that go down the darkest paths, and the ones that are lighthearted are not that engaging or fun. They're just kind of an afterthought.
Well, like even the Killmonger one, it's dark, but it has an uplifting ending because the sister is able to get the video showing Killmonger, you know, betraying Tony Stark, and giving away the whole deal about killing Black Panther.
Wait, but you talking about dark endings. What about, I mean, this past episode did go dark at the very last scene.
At the they sprinkled it at the very, very end.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it was basically like, there you go.
Yeah. Like, frat, and now the destruction of the whole universe. What you guys think about that surprise ending?
So that was Ultron with the stones?
That was Vision.
That was Vision with the stones.
Yeah, it was Vision with the stones.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, they're all
Green Tuner is a harsh critic. I'll tell you that right now.
He's like,
It's not about being a harsh critic. It's just, it's so
boring,
pointless watching that. Again, after watching the Killmonger one, which had a nice, you know, twist to it and nice everything to it, then go into a frat party, and then at the very end, they just do that whole thing with Vision. It's like, okay, what did that accomplish? I have no idea what's happening. Vision just shows up. There's nothing to it. There's no more. You can't get anything out of it except maybe guess what happened or what's happening.
I would hate Green Turner to be like a food critic, like going to like a 3-star Michelin restaurant, and he just eats the food, and he'll be like, goes to Gordon Ramsay or anybody, I don't know who else, but
like, I don't know what's happening with this mac and cheese.
I don't know what is this? I don't understand. Like
I don't get it.
I don't see the story. I see a beginning. I don't see a middle or end. This is horrible. This is the worst thing I've ever tasted. Like this is. I give this whole restaurant. It's passing. Like, damn, dude, you are harsh. Like,
no, I'm just saying it was a twist for the sake of having a twist. Like, does anyone here know what that was about?
It was the whole point. Like when they started, the Watcher was saying, like, all these heroes have been forged from going through adversity. By Loki being part of Thor's life, it taught Thor a lot of things on how to be mature, how to grow up. Even though obviously, when Thor won, he was still very childish, but at least taught him a lot of things in life, put him through situations where he had to mature as a man. But now, with Loki being his best bro and Thor being the only child, Thor is just acting crazy. Yeah, he's just a frat boy, and he had to never go through anything other than, I don't know, have to deal with Odin every once in a while. So, I mean, granted, I thought it was pretty decent. Was it as action-packed still as Doctor Strange one? No. But not action-packed. Was it as...
Doctor Strange wasn't really action-packed.
Not action-packed. It was interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like to see a completely different side of what would happen if he lost, his girl as opposed to his hands. But, I mean, I thought it wasn't bad. I'm not going to be as harsh on it. Granted, I mean, as you guys... I'm pretty consistent. I love dark storylines. Like I said about Superman, I want a dark Superman. I want dark Batman.
Go figure. Yeah. Superman, you're like, dark. No lightness. But when it comes to all these like what ifs, like, oh yeah, lightness. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I didn't say lightness, like, oh my goodness, like, oh man, I want the good guys to win every time. That's
basically what we watched, I
mean, this one, it was a little different, and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Dreamcast is cutting it a little slack. That's all he's doing.
I'm cutting a little slack.
That's it. You're being hard,
like, you're really harsh. You're really coming like, they suck. They could do better.
I didn't say this. Like I said, overall, the series, I wouldn't say it's a good.
Disappointing.
What ifs? They've been mostly misses and they've been hits.
I would agree with that.
I'll agree with that. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So
there's definitely a tone to them that's I don't want to say boring, but there's a dull tone to them which doesn't excite you. And I think the issue with that is the animation style is the same for all of them. So it's like you're kind of going through the same rhythm watching it, so it's really up to the story. The story has to be interesting, and if it's not, you're just kind of watching the same recycled animation. Not recycled. I mean, the animation is really nice.
Same everything.
Style of animation. Changes, No, I hear you. I think for this one, I might have watched it late at night because I must have been falling asleep because my memories of it are sporadic. So I really don't have a solid opinion on them at all.
It's a good way to sell this What If series.
Well,
it's a good falling asleep TV show or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, it's not my job to push Disney. It's their job to make good stories.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I didn't see the recent one. It didn't appeal to me. I saw the trailer for it and I was like, I feel like
I went to the thing that I never watched trailers for, and even like the Star Wars things. I haven't watched a single trailer. Nope. I just go into it blind. Same with the.
Don't watch a trailer for the individual Star Wars episodes.
No, I won't.
If you watch a trailer for the individual, if you watch a trailer, you pretty much will watch the.
Yeah.
You watch the damn episode.
Yeah.
I mean, those episodes are
so I don't watch
short.
the trailers for anything.
Well, I saw the one that had like everything within like 1 minute.
The announcement trailer. That's fine. Yeah. But
Star Wars Visions is the standard of what if should be or can be.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think the difference between Visions and What If is the fact that the studios each had their own creative license for each one. When the What If, I mean, granted, the What Ifs are from different comic book writers and so forth throughout time. But it's just one of those situations where I feel like when you have a when you have like Marvel being a single entity as opposed to all these different studios actually working on like Star Wars, and they can have their own creative spin to it. It's not like, you're talking to somebody on the 5th floor versus the 6th floor or something like that. And I'm not saying that's how Marvel is or how a lot of these writers have been, but there may be something to the fact of these individual studios are literally like apples and oranges from one another. And what they stories that they may write normally for their animes and mangas may be completely different from each other, and they might share the same medium as far as like animation versus like manga, whatever, but what they write about is totally different. It's like talking about Studio Ghibli versus Akira Toriyama. I don't know what his studio is called, Toriyama Studios or whatever. It's like totally two different things, and you wouldn't expect the same story out of. I wouldn't want a Ghibli story with Toriyama animation. It's just totally different. So I think that's the big thing about with What If. There's just too much, like you guys were saying, they're same animation style and they're just cut from the same cloth, it seems like.
Yeah, because it still falls under the control, like you said, creative control of Marvel.
Right. Yeah, so I'm trying to see if
they want things, and they can't have a new, fresh perspective like what Visions did.
Yeah, and also I don't think it's not being written by comic book writers. It's being written by like 2 or 3 people. Like,
What If?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, What If? That's the What If series.
Wow.
So it probably
it's like they have writers
to do what they did with Visions. Then just because it's What If, it doesn't have to be canon. It doesn't have to belong to anything. They can just send it to different studios and see what they can come up with.
Right. So I mean,
well, I think Marvel's Disney's a little more protective of the Marvel brand at the moment, and
absolutely,
I think the Star Wars brand, I think they're kind of seeing that they have to be a little more loose with it in order to, because I think they've exhausted most options. Like I think they've done everything that they can do to make money out of Star Wars.
Well, I think Star Wars now they have more attention than Marvel.
Well, all I meant is Marvel.
I think Star Wars has too much attention.
I
too much negative right now, I would say. But.
Too much attention, period. I think Star Wars is oversaturated.
I disagree with that. I think it's actually the opposite. I think they don't have enough tension as opposed to Marvel. Marvel, you
think that Star Wars is not oversaturated in our culture right now? I think that's the reason why they're in the position they are. Star Wars,
Marvel
we overloaded on Star Wars.
It is.
Marvel too, but I'm just saying Star Wars was such a precious commodity that they had in the beginning, and we just like nostalgia'd it to death. And the sequel series is like nostalgia overload.
Nostalgia is also
overload.
Like what cripples Star Wars nostalgia.
Yeah,
because no matter what Star Wars you see, no matter what it is, you have to have a lightsaber. You have to have a droid. So there's like certain things that they just can't get away from. Like there's no way to be more creative than they can be.
Yeah, even in Star Wars Visions, I was actually watching every episode, going from episode to episode, going, is this going to revolve around a Jedi? Is this going to revolve around? And
like
I think 90% of them do.
Yeah.
Actually 100% of them do. Correct, Grimcast?
Yeah, 100% of them. Every
episode has to deal with either some Jedi component.
Yes, Jedi
which let's not beat around the bush. The coolest thing about Star Wars are the Jedis. It is absolutely the coolest thing,
but that's what basically cripples them too. They have to stick to those things. So otherwise, people are like, well, no, this isn't Star Wars.
Well, you need somebody to come in with a creative, like you need somebody to do something different. Is what Star Wars sorely needs, because it's the same. We've been
it's just the same repackage. It's basically Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's basically like the new
different combinations.
Yes,
but the thing is, I think you guys are being a little harsh. Maybe to a point of being ridiculous. You're saying like with Star Wars that like with Star Wars being, it's like, oh, there's always lightsabers, there's always Jedis. Imagine, and Ed will be able to. I'm trying to bring Ed into the conversation. So I'm trying to package it to where he will be able to. Really add something of value to it.
And no bother.
Yeah, no. It will understand.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Oh, go ahead.
Ed, Star Wars is a beloved franchise, right?
Yeah.
You can't have Star Wars without having Jedis and Sith for the most part, right?
Correct. It wouldn't be Star Wars.
It wouldn't be Star Wars.
I disagree.
No. Okay, hey, I'm talking to Ed. Shut the hell up.
Shut the fuck up, Green Tuner.
Yeah. Redirect.
Shut the fuck up there.
Yeah, you piece of shit. Shut the fuck up. So think of Dragon Ball Z as something that you're very familiar with.
Yep.
Could you have a Dragon Ball Z without Fireball, Chi Blast,
Kai Blast, whatever?
Big fans here. Big fans.
Can't have it. No.
You couldn't have it. Could you have Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z, let's say Super or whatever, without Super Saiyans of some type of transformations?
No, couldn't.
Is there? Can you have Dragon Ball Z without Goku and Vegeta having someone to fight to save the world or save the planet?
Yeah, can't do it.
You can't do it. So the thing is that you have these franchises, these series that are literally built on certain premises. Star Wars with having Jedi, Sith, lightsabers, blasters, and so forth. You have Dragon Ball Z. It has Goku, Vegeta, Super Saiyans, Chi Blast, Ki Blast, whatever. You have these certain things. Zelda, Legend Zelda. I'm looking at its background. You can't have really a really mainstream Zelda game without having Link and Zelda. That's just how it is. So the fact that like the fans are saying, well, Star Wars is oversaturated because we're having too many Jedi versus Sith. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. That's literally what the franchise is built off. I think the major problem is like what you guys say is oversaturated. I think it's undersaturated.
Yeah.
Undersaturated in the sense that you have quality. That exactly. Like where you have Marvel, where if I was Disney and I had to look between Marvel and Star Wars, I'm putting my money on Marvel. I'm going to be more protective of that franchise because I know right now that's my cash cow. That's going to bring in a lot more money than what Star Wars will, because Star Wars, you can't they tried it.
They fucked it up.
Yeah, they had the Rogue One story. They had the various episodes. They had now the Mandalorian and so forth.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, when you're talking about the Jedi, Star Wars exists outside of Jedi. The Mandalorian is the perfect example. Yeah, Rogue One is another example. I enjoyed those a lot.
I was even thinking about the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian had Star Wars characters with lightsabers.
But I'm saying it's not focused on the Jedi, though.
It's not focused on the Jedi,
but something else.
But you can't have the Mandalorian's a solo series.
No one said that I don't want any reference to Jedi. All I said is this focus. The focus of things is always the Jedi, which I love the Jedi stuff. I'm not saying I don't love it. I'm just saying that there's a rich universe out there, and I think the Mandalorian is the perfect example of exploring that. And I don't know how you guys feel about Rogue One. I love Rogue One.
Oh yeah, I like Rogue One.
Great,
good too.
And then it still
so much so that when they rebooted the series with Rey, right? It was basically the same story. Death Star.
Yeah.
The Millennium Falcon.
Sure.
Dark side, light side. And then you see how it was received for the same reason. It's just there's nothing new in there. Now you have the Mandalorian, things like that. This
is what I was trying to get at.
To explore on it.
Yeah. You need somebody to take those things that we like and do something new with it, or try to do something new with it. And I think they were trying to do that with The Last Jedi. I think it was a radically different take, and that was somebody trying to do something different because they knew what we're talking about right now. Somebody realized, 4 or 5 years ago that Star Wars is real repetitive.
Probably a decade ago, actually.
Somebody's looking at probably 10 years out of what Disney had in their secret meeting room, and they're going like, that's it? This is all you guys have? Yeah. Like, I mean, this is the same shit. We're talking about the same shit again? So what's his name? Rian Johnson? He probably sat down and was like,
do something different.
Try to do something different. Like, Star Wars needs a radical change in order to survive, but how do I keep the little things people like and try to take the story in an exciting direction? So I guess he tried to do it. It might not have gone in the most ideal direction that everybody was on board for, but it was an attempt to do that. And I think that's what
different.
yeah, that's what Star Wars is missing. It's missing some of these people because J.J. Abrams, as much as I liked J.J. Abrams, he's more of like a salary man. He's a company man. He's like, you come in, he does what you need him to do, but he won't go outside the box. And in order for Star Wars to survive
for the sequels.
Yeah, sure.
No, that's why he said.
Well, I mean, he didn't have a plan. Sure, he didn't have a plan, but he's not Disney. Disney didn't have a plan for the sequel.
Don't talk about J.J. Abrams. I mean, Star Trek was fucking amazing.
Star Trek.
Kind of about amazing, but
no. What was I gonna say? But
I mean, it's flashy and nice, but it was not really.
It was void.
Lens flares, everywhere.
It's basically Star Wars with Star Trek costumes.
Wait, what? Say it again.
No, I heard that. I'm just saying.
J.J. Abrams was basically Star Wars with Star Trek paint coat. Yeah, that's all it was.
Yes, I like the first Star Trek movie, but it's not Star Trek. It's very like it's like a Star Trek commercial.
Okay, so you're saying like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, Star Trek. I think the old Star Treks personally are very boring.
Yeah, and that's why
I love the old Star Trek
paint coat. Yeah,
I love them. They gave the old Star Treks.
They are boring. Yes,
they're boring. They're boring.
Yeah.
That's their nature, though. But that's their nature.
I know that's their nature. You have to build up to it. It's one of those things like you have to build up to the action, and then you get a little bit of action, but then you get a lot of backstory. It's very rich. It's very rich in story, but for I guess a newer generation,
for a general audience,
for general
2009 Star Trek was definitely built for the ADD generation who like.
We're not an ADD. It's just the thing is like this. It's like, if you want to continue to have let's talk about old shows, like any old show that was back in the 90s. I mean, you have your Battlestar Galacticas, you have your Fireflies and so forth. Great shows in their own right. Stargate, great shows in their own right. The problem is that if you're trying to bring in a new audience to give it more life, you have to do something a little bit more bold. Like with Star Trek, J.J. Abrams, I think he did a really good job of maintaining a lot of that nostalgia with the Star Trek series without going too deep into the story where a new person coming in is completely confused. And then doing it all and really treating like Star Trek, keeping the same core of it, keeping the soul of it, but then saying, hey, this is an alternate timeline. It was not bad.
I don't know if he kept the same core. I mean, I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. They had to do this in order to keep it relevant. I'm just me personally. I didn't enjoy it, but
I liked it more than the sequels of Star Wars.
I understand why they did it. And they made the right choice. It put asses in seats. So
Star Trek movies like Star Trek bullet points, Matt. That's all. I looked at it and I was like, okay, check, and like check. It was literally check Spock, check Enterprise,
Spock,
check Kirk,
Kirk, Enterprise.
Check. Yeah, and then like that's it. But like I like the 2009 Star Trek. I liked it when I watched it. I felt it was like walking out of the theater. I was like, okay, this is kind of what Star Wars needs, but it couldn't be sustained. Star Trek, sorry. Star Trek couldn't be sustained. And I think the next one, the one after that was, Into Darkness was, I'm a big fan. Like, I'm not a big fan, but I grew up with Star Trek more than I grew up with.
Yeah.
I watched Star Wars a lot, but Star Trek I would watch every day at a certain point when I was a kid, like the old series. So
the original?
The original, yeah. Like I would watch the Flintstones and I would watch the old Star Trek. I would be watching MeTV or something. I don't know. I would watch a lot of that shit.
Like when I saw Khan, I'm not gonna lie, that gave me goosebumps because it reminded me of the old Star Trek with Khan, and it made Khan more like you see the old Star Trek movies or shows. It's just kind of like they're gonna be back in the next episode. But like watching this with Khan, like when I saw Benedict Cumberbatch talking about, no, my name is Khan. Like he felt like a bad guy. He felt like Kirk had met his
probably
match.
One of the worst things I have ever seen was that switch where I hated it because Khan is such a complex character, which they gave so much. Like in the original series, the character came from somewhere, has a background, and then like he's a fan favorite, so he's been like. His background was expanded over several. It's like his lore grew, and he's been nurtured by the fans. And in Star Trek 2, in Wrath of Khan, like that's his like the pinnacle of that character, like as a villain.
Yeah.
in this movie, Into Darkness, and now we're on Star Trek for some reason, but in this movie,
let's go for it. It's the Prime Directive.
Yeah, it's the Prime Directive. In Star Trek Into Darkness, the rumor was that he was Khan. Everyone was saying, "Oh, he's got to be Khan," and they were saying, "No, he's not Khan." I forgot the name of the character. They had the name for him, but in the end, where he says, "Oh, my name is Khan," like it felt like such a. It wasn't earned. It came out of nowhere. Everyone was like, "Okay," like I mean, he wasn't Khan. Nothing was there to tell you.
Yeah,
it's not even charisma. There's nothing connecting him to the story of Khan Noonien Singh. The character was never. He was never established as that. They just kind of. It's like it felt like somebody in a writer's room was like, we don't know what to do with this character now. It's the halfway.
Just put in Khan.
2/3 of the movie,
Khan, right?
Yeah, it's like, how about we just say he's Khan? It's like, oh yeah,
it's the
we'll
movie
just write him in as Khan.
It's the movie version of Khan, and it's a movie version that you follow the.
Had a movie version of Khan.
No, what I'm saying, no, movie version, like a 2012 movie version of Khan, where you have to once again appeal. Star Trek is like just like we talked about before, like with He-Man. Nobody was asking about no damn Star Trek other than the old fans back in the day who are going to Star Trek conventions talking about same old Star Trek from 1980 and 1990. Like nobody's really no one's asking for Star Trek outside the fans.
Yeah.
When you have to repackage something to be able to give it to the new masses, you have to do something different. And I feel like Khan was a perfect movie Khan for 2011, 12, when the hype of Star Trek was doing well, because like I think Green Turner said, it puts ass in seats. If you took the Star Trek fans, and you show them a movie, that's not going to put their ass in seats unless it's true to the old 90s Star Trek where you're going to fall asleep halfway through, then they're going to have a battle and fall back to sleep again. And most of these people are on hospice right now. Old Star Trek fans are on hospice right now.
There's plenty of people.
I'm kidding.
Not enough to fill a theater.
We're talking about one theater now.
No, but I think you're right. Like I said, in 2009, I felt like watching that movie. I was like, this is what Star Trek needs. It got asses in seats. It got attention back on Star Trek. The characters that I like were still cool. He did a cool job of melding the old cast and the new cast in the same movie. That was cool. That was a cool idea. And it kind of bridged the gap between the two. It's just when you have the character for Khan, he's already such a cool character that has only been explored this much in a movie and in one episode of the series. That's it. That's all that we've ever seen of Khan.
That's all that there is,
That's all there is. Now you have another opportunity to expand that already cool backstory of Khan and make him a credible threat in this new universe. And it felt like he was just a name swap.
Sure.
Nothing of that character was particularly Khan except for like his determination and his will to do like what his task was to do. But like outside of that, I don't think he had much connection to the original Khan that people like. And that's, I think, the big problem there with him. If he felt like and that's their direction, I think that series went. It's just like he was another box to be checked, and they checked it. It didn't really feel like an organic sequel.
To be fair, I mean, after the second one, I liked the second one enough, but I didn't watch the third one. I had at that point lost interest in Star Trek. It became just
the third one sucked.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, and that was before I even heard reviews of it sucking. It just at that point I kind of got. Even though I rag on the original Star Trek, I still love it. It was still fun to watch. And if I need to go to sleep, I could watch some Star Trek. But if I really want to, no, episodes. Yeah. But like if I want to go back down like a nostalgia corner and watch like how I used to watch on the old Sci-Fi channel and watch Star Trek, I would definitely binge Star Trek all damn day.
You have to be in a mood to see it. So absolutely, you're right.
But I felt like after the second one, Star Trek stopped being Star Trek as much as it became more of a blockbuster. It became just another blockbuster movie with explosions, and that's why.
How many ships can we have on screen exploding?
See, I agree with you, Creamcast. I accept that feeling that you're talking about. I had watching the second one.
Yeah, after the second one. I got it after the second one. I still enjoyed it. It's just like it just doesn't feel.
And you know what? In Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, like. okay, so I don't know how much you guys clearly. I mean, I think Waldo's a big fan here, but I don't think anyone else is. But
I didn't realize about Star Trek, but go ahead.
Right. So there's.
You should watch it. It's
no,
Star Trek.
I've seen the first movie. I like the first movie.
No, the Wrath of Khan.
No, Wrath of Khan. He's talking about.
Yeah, Wrath of Khan from the 80s is like in the end of that. So heavy spoilers for this old movie, but classic movie. Spock dies at the end of Wrath of Khan, and he dies. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I cry when I see that scene. It is the acting in that scene, the connection between Spock and Kirk. It's like well, maybe because I had this when I was a kid. I was watching Star Trek. These
you
same actors
in Adventures.
Yeah, these same actors. Yeah. So when I see that moment, how he dies and what he dies for, the friendship is such a sweet moment, and you tear up. In the Into Darkness, they also have a death, and it's like they swap the characters who die, and it's the same scene. It's swapped though.
It's pretty cool.
It's not cool because it doesn't feel like genuine. It feels artificial as fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the long story.
They death swamped me, man.
Yeah, they did death swamp because at Wrath of Khan is Spock that dies, and Kirk is like, it's just like, I mean, it's ugly. It's an ugly cry, but I mean, it's definitely it's death swamp.
It's a genuine reaction, though. It's such a when you watch that movie, that when that happens, because those characters have deep background. You watched them grow this friendship.
Shit. Yeah, Khan was talking shit.
Khan was talking shit, and like fucking Spock saved the whole ship. He went in there and he did the thing he did, and he died for it. And that Khan scream haunts your memories.
Portrayal of Khan, like everything he did, like his movements and everything were like measured. He was always thinking everything through. There was like not a wasted sentence that he said. Everything was like, he was like a master tactician. Yeah, it was really cool to see.
No, it was good. And I mean, I understand like for hardcore Star Trek fans, the movies were not a representation of Star Trek that they come to love. Like I said, Star Trek in the past was a slow rollout for big payback or big payouts at the end, but it was a slow rollout. But that was a typical 80s type of movies. It wasn't always, or especially sci-fi movies, it wasn't action. I mean, we can compare it to like even look at stuff like Aliens, right? The original Aliens wasn't but
yeah, no, I'm saying you're absolutely on point, Creamcast, because the audience, if you watch like 80s, 60s, 70s movies, they will bore you to tears if you're not used to that kind of pace.
Yeah,
and
they're also a product
more quicker.
But they're also a product of the limitation of the effects at the time. They had to lean into story. They had to lean into dialogue. They had to lean into building. You know, like Star Trek, the TV show was expensive as hell to make in the 60s when it was on the air. They reused a lot of stuff, but it's a memorable show. It's a really good show because the writing was really good. I mean,
remember the original Klingons?
Yeah,
they were just basically like
people with eyebrows, like high eyebrows.
The Genghis Khan.
And they were blackface. Nobody talks about that anymore, but basically they were blackface.
They were black. Yeah, literally that was it.
It was absolutely
but no, those old series, like they leaned into the writing and they leaned into the story, and that's why I get it. The depiction is that they're boring now.
But is right. Like even the pacing of old movies, like if you watch The Godfather. I love The Godfather, but the pacing is very methodical, very slow, and
it reminds me of like people complain about like The Irishman, right? People are like, oh my goodness, Irishman is like a 8-10 hour movie. That's how they feel, and it's just like, but those how movies were back in the day. They were slow. They built a story like Aliens. Like I watched a documentary on Aliens as the series progressed.
Alien or Aliens?
Alien,
okay.
And then to Aliens. How Alien was so slow on the horror. It wasn't, like any type of typical horror movie now where it's like you get the scare right
jump scare right away.
Jump scare.
Jump scare.
Yeah, jump scare. Title card. Like it's not that instantaneous. It's very slow build up, and how the fear,
the feeling of dread. That's like an ominous feeling of dread, like something is coming kind of feeling.
Right. Like when we watch Alien for the first time and the chest burster happens in the scene where they're all having like dinner or whatever, it's just
that was messed up.
That was messed up because you went from bad situation happening. You know something bad was going to happen, but you're just waiting for it to happen. And at the most inopportune time where you think everybody's just chilling. Oh, like what's his name? I forgot the name. It's not Bishop. I forgot the guy who had his chest burst.
Chest burst.
Yeah, but I forgot who the guy was.
I'm horrible at names.
But
I'm surprised Cyan hasn't mentioned it yet.
I am trying to think in my mind. I am also pulling a blank.
It's like Bishop, Shepherd. Was it Shepherd? Maybe it was Shepherd.
Maybe
he was just chilling, having a good time, and then all of a sudden, and then you're like, holy shit! Like this is really popping off. You can't have that nowadays. So it's based off the times, and going back,
that's a great transition from the feel of that movie, Alien, to jump to the sequel, Aliens. It's an action-driven film, you know what I mean? Right from the get-go, it's an action-driven film. It is not a horror movie. It's an action-adventure, sci-fi action-adventure. It's two different genres. That's why I love the Alien genre. It's so good. Then it goes back to horror with Alien 3.
Yeah.
Marvel is actually doing a Alien series right now.
Yeah, and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Marvel's doing an Alien comic book.
The comics.
The comics,
The comics are usually good, they say, for Aliens.
The Dark Horse has had the license for Alien for a long time and Predator, but Marvel kind of, I don't know, they reacquired it with the licensing. Oh no, because they bought Fox, they reacquired it. Yeah. So they put it out, and Creamcast is right. It's such a beautifully drawn book too. My God, check it out. It's only like 4 or 5 episodes or issues in, so very nicely done.
I loved back in the day the Batman versus Aliens. That was one of my first. That was one of my first Aliens. That was my first Aliens book a comic book that I got, and I read that thing. So
mine was Batman versus Predator. I love that one.
I never actually read that one.
Oh man, it's definitely a book that is not meant for children, and I had it as a child, and I was watching all kinds of reading all kinds of stuff that was definitely not.
Yeah.
Well, what's it called? There's also like a Predator with Archie.
Yeah, really? Predator versus Archie.
Yeah, and you actually literally see, I don't know who's spine, but he literally pulls one of the Archie characters.
But I think that's that's when they were getting into parody, because it was Superman versus Alien, Batman versus Predator. Yeah. Then they were like, all right, who's the most ridiculous things we can parody?
That's what I'm saying. It was so ridiculous to see the Predator in an Archie comic. Actually,
if you want to read something, if you want to read something really funny, Punisher versus Archie is pretty funny too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think I do remember that from back in the day. I do
look that up. Punisher vs. Archie was pretty funny.
I'm actually gonna look it up while we're talking.
Yeah.
But going back to the whole Star Wars. I mean, we were talking about Star Wars. Initially. I think Star Wars, like I said, Star Wars is a series that I think is undersaturated with great content. I think that. Could they do something new? Absolutely. And what I'd love to see what was done in Visions get adopted into a live action Star Wars, where you go either thousands of years in the future or thousands of years in the past with Jedi conflicts, where you have all Jedi, no Sith, or all Sith. Well, we've already done the Sith, no Jedi, but do it in the future where the conflict has changed, and there were the fight with the twins, which remind me of Akagami Kill or whatever, had that weird vibe to it.
Kill a Kill type.
Kill a Kill type of thing. Yeah, there we go. Hey, someone shoot a lightsaber or shoot a blaster. They turn it into a circle and throw it back, and cut people in half. Just do something completely different. I wish they would do something like that. Will they do something like that? I don't know, but
I don't think so, because I think the hardcore fans will lose their minds again, because it's such a delicate balancing act where you can't do something too interesting and out of the ordinary. Then it becomes non-canon or precious to Star Wars. So you can't take too many risks, but you have to be able to do something interesting. So it's like the hardcore fans want the same. Fine. Yeah. But Disney has to be like, all right, the hardcore fans want the same, great. But there's a large portion of the audience that is going to look at Star Wars and go, and it's happening, meh kind of idea for Star Wars. Getting burnt out. So I think that they need, what I believe that Star Wars needs is they need to take somebody's vision and just invest in it and go into a different direction.
Yeah, just not Disney's vision.
Well, Disney owns it.
Well, you know what I mean. Someone that.
Well, look, Disney.
It's always going to be Disney's vision.
Yeah.
But I see what Ed's saying. He pretty much wants somebody. But the thing is, it's always going to be Disney's vision. But Disney needs to be able to take a chance. You give somebody the license. It's kind of turning into more of like a Warner Brothers with DC. With DC or DC with Warner Brothers, or DC Warner Brothers with their vision of Warner Bros. With their vision of DC. I'm sorry. It's like, okay, you have the Snyder cut. If you're gonna give like Zack Snyder the creative ability to do what he wants, give him the ability to do what he wants and let him run with it.
Yep.
It may not be the best thing ever, and some people are not gonna like the dark thing of Zack Snyder. Mm-hmm. But do something that's gonna, I was actually talking about this with somebody this past weekend. Snyder Cut, could there have been other directors that had did a better version with Justice League if given time? Absolutely. But based on the time that Warner Brothers wanted to compete with Marvel, with Avengers, even though Zack Snyder likes putting out, 5-hour movies to explain the story, Zack Snyder's comic book movies, like once again, going back to Watchmen, was phenomenal. Super long movie, but it was great. Was it as great as the graphic novels? No, but it was extremely good. Extremely good.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
It's
pretty
close.
It
was really close. Yeah,
really close.
It was really, really close. I mean, that's one of my favorite superhero movies.
It's
Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
I've actually said that I like Zack Snyder's ending better than the book ending.
I've like in terms of the side actually.
Yeah, the dimensional alien. Yeah, I don't like that. Like, I mean, in the comic book, because they give it time to build up that squid idea.
Yeah.
But in the movie, with the time he had, he omitted the idea of the squid and the extra dimensional shenanigans. Because you have Dr. Manhattan there, the perfect.
And that makes the most sense.
Well, it made the most sense. Right. Yeah, that's what makes sense.
Made a lot of sense.
I think that's the perfect part about it. It makes sense.
The guy who's in charge, what do you call him in comics? The top guy. Editor-in-chief.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the editor-in-chief at the time when Alan Moore was writing it, actually even told him the same thing. He said it would be better to change the ending because he didn't even like the squid ending. But, Alan Moore...
It was like an overcomplication
But Alan Moore's like, no. You know how Alan Moore is. He's like, this is how I pictured it. This is how it's going to be. Right. So even back then, they were still iffy about that ending.
I'm saying, I'm coming from, I always love reading, like, I'm the same with anime, right? I'd rather read the manga than watch the anime because of the fact that reading the manga, it just gives me, because I feel like that's coming straight from the artist. I'd rather take it straight from the artist and then instead of change, because of course, everybody has better ideas after the fact. That makes sense. And I feel like with Zack Snyder, it totally makes sense for a movie to do it the way that he did it. Take out all the extra dimensional crap out and just make it about Dr. Manhattan, using him as the pawn, and then boom, world peace as far as until Rorschach's journal gets written, gets discovered.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta trust. I feel like Marvel needs to have the ability. It needs to do the same thing. It needs to do what Warner Brothers or DC has done, or what I guess what I was saying.
No, Marvel's the one doing it right because Kevin Feige is the one keeping them all together.
No, I'm not saying Disney. DC. I'm talking about Disney with Star Wars. I'm sorry, Disney with Star Wars.
Disney with Star Wars.
Needs to give. That's what I'm getting confused.
They got somebody there, baby. Double K.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying they actually did try with The Last Jedi. Everyone lost their shit. And they discouraged Disney from trying it.
Yeah.
So they've tried it. And they give them full control.
But you know what? They did try it, but
directing, editing, everything to one single person.
Yeah.
You're right.
And I'm sure he had Rian Johnson. I'm sure he had a plan for a sequel because he set up a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And like,
that was so much more interesting too. Having a Jedi that doesn't come from a lineage, just having a brand new Jedi, no lineage, no Skywalkers, no.
Like I said, they're all poorly written characters. They're all poorly written characters. Even Episode 7, 8, 9, all three of them have major writing issues.
Underground's he's getting
pissed. He's getting pissed off.
Right now, I think poor Ed. I think he
might be watching YouTube videos right now to prepare to talk to us. So let him give him the time.
What's your take on this so far? Because that hasn't put in.
You talk about Ray, right? Ray has no ring.
Oh shit! You're talking about that bitch Ray, right?
You talk about Ray, right? Ray's a Palpatine who took the name of Skywalker.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
That's major lineage right there.
Mm-hmm.
You take the two most powerful Jedi and Sith, Palpatine and Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just saying, there's lineage right there. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Good point. Good point. The Underground. You thought the Underground was just sitting there, just not paying attention. But
Abrams did not have a plan, and he said this verbally, that he did not have a plan doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he just
it shows in the work.
The fans even more.
Yeah.
Did you guys see what what's her name? Maria what's her name? Lucas, or is Maria Lucas? She was how she cried about the episodes.
Oh, I heard about it, but I haven't read about it.
I saw the article. It was like
Maria Lucas.
Yeah, like
who's that?
Let me see. I think isn't that the wife of George Lucas?
Who the fuck cares about her?
That's fine. She can go cry in her pile of money.
Let me see. It's like
someone
so bad for her.
once said that George Lucas was racist.
People still say,
someone once said, was that person who did that person just watch episode 1? Because he may be right.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
I'll make you a deal.
I got a giant nose. Use Yiddish for some reason.
Come on. Misa don't think so, Ed.
Oh no. Probably the worst character in Star Wars.
Yeah.
No,
he received a lot of
racist.
He received a lot of
I don't think he's racist. I just think
stuff.
I don't think he's racist. He just comes from.
No, I don't think
he comes from an older.
His wife is black.
You can make tropes. There's certain tropes that you can make about certain races, and it's
just that it's where his creativity comes from. Is just like how do you define different aliens? Well, he looked at his own world and was like, oh, these people speak weird. I'm just gonna make them aliens.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's the most creative man in the world. He was just like he's a product of his time. Product of his time.
Yeah. I guarantee if you review a lot of movies during this time, especially sci-fi movies,
hell yeah,
you see different aliens. They will remind you of different races. So,
well, I mean, like Star Wars was born from his love of Flash Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
In Flash Gordon, the bad guy is Ming the Merciless,
license,
right? Huh?
Because get the license.
Something like that. But like the bad guy from Flash Gordon is Ming the Merciless, which was a stand-in for like the yellow threat to America. So
very much so.
Yeah, I mean,
Ming was played by a white guy. It wasn't it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, I mean, you just kind of have to. You have to give a pass. It's like people want to complain about the past, especially with stuff like this. And I understand.
Boo.
Yeah. I mean, people want to talk about it, and it's fine. It's one of those things like, yes, were there racist tropes of a lot of TV shows back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyone remember the Ferengis, Cyan?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, Star Trek, they love going after the Jews. I don't know what it is.
Ferengis.
Look up Ferengi, man.
I don't know about this.
It's not just
the image won't portray it.
It's their nature.
Yes.
They love money so much.
They love money. They love like a platinum or some kind of metal, and they're just like constantly trying to undersell. Or they're like a whole race of Wattos.
They remind me of like gypsies. Ferengi. Yeah,
and of course their features are exaggerated, just like cartoonish depictions of ethnic groups.
So you're right. I mean,
it's in our nature. Come on,
standing.
Yeah.
I mean, take it with a grain of salt.
All right. Well, since we're on racist depictions of popular characters, can we just jump ahead to the Mario Brothers casting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes. All right.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this major piece of news.
Okay.
Ed, does anyone have the cast list
I do.
for Mario's?
Yes.
All right.
So there was a Nintendo Direct, correct, at Underground?
Yes, loved it.
And the man, the myth, the legend, the Stanley of video games, the one we love, Miyamoto, came on stage. I leapt up in my seat because I haven't seen Miyamoto in so long.
Yes.
I was like, Miyamoto in person in the Direct comes out to talk about the Mario Brothers movie. And I was aware that this movie was coming out, being supervised by Disney, or not Disney, sorry.
No, not Disney.
Being supervised by
Nintendo.
By Nintendo. Yeah, being done by Illumination, the creators of Minions.
Yeah.
But being supervised like over the shoulder by Nintendo and Miyamoto himself. So
the man himself.
What better like scenario could you want? You know what I mean? Aside from Pixar doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Miyamoto comes out and he says there's big news and we're all excited. And he says their movie's coming out in 2022 and here's the cast. So, I mean, Creamcast, you got that cast pulled up?
I have it pulled up right now.
All right, go ahead and read through some of these amazing cast members.
Okay, let's start with the big man on top. We're going to say Mario is Chris Pratt.
Of course, yeah.
Star-Lord fame. Of what other movies? What's that Edge of Tomorrow? What's that new movie? Tomorrow War?
Some Amazon movie.
Chris Pratt, Star-Lord.
Parks and Rec.
Star-Lord. Parks and Rec.
The other big thing that he's known
The
for.
Office a little bit too.
No.
He was in The Office, wasn't he? Wasn't he in The Office?
No,
he was
Parks
not.
and Rec.
He was not. He was in Parks and
I
Rec.
thought it was The Office. So, all right.
You're talking about
not as a main member, but like for a few episodes.
Okay, actually, let's take a commercial break. Let's see Chris Pratt.
He was not in The Office.
I know he wasn't, but I'm just looking like,
are you thinking of Pam's boyfriend in The Office that was there for?
No, I could have sworn he was like in a few episodes.
He's talking about Chris, Emily London's husband. What's her name?
You talking about Jim from The Office?
Jim, yeah.
Jim?
Krasinski?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How can you mistake those two with Chris Pratt?
No, I'm not. That's Ed.
No, I'm talking to Ed, not you.
Oh.
I thought he was in a few episodes of The Office.
John.
He was not in The Office at all.
You're thinking of John Krasinski. John Krasinski was in almost every episode of The Office, if not every episode. But
exactly.
All
right, well, Ed Underground's deep into thought here and investigation. We'll let him.
So Chris Pratt will do the Italian voice?
Okay, well, I'm getting to that, but let's read the whole cast here.
Okay.
Go for it.
So Charlie Day as Luigi. He is Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, like Charlie
also
Day.
in Pacific Rim and so forth. We have Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach.
Sure, she's
Queen's Gambit. She was also
The Witch,
in
which messed me up for a whole week.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Do you like the taste of butter?
Holy crap! I really couldn't sleep a week after I watched that.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
It was amazing.
We have Jack Black as Bowser. Jack Black, School of Rock, and pretty much what other stuff he's done recently.
I think every generation knows who Jack Black is.
Yeah, everybody knows who Jack Black is.
Was he in Wreck-It Ralph?
I think he was. Was he?
No, he's not Ralph. He's not in Wreck-It Ralph.
No, Wreck-It Ralph is the
John C. Reilly.
I'm thinking of
Riley.
John C. Reilly.
No, he's in Wreck-It Ralph. Let's see.
Is he?
But he's not the main character.
He's not Ralph.
No,
he's not the main character.
Oh no.
John C. Reilly is not Wreck-It. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is John C. Reilly, and Fix It, whatever his name is that kid from the 30 Rock.
Yeah, I think
30 Rock.
Yeah, I'm
goody kid.
Okay, so
Jack Black from Jumanji fame.
Jumanji, sure. That's the worst one. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
As we all imagine.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have Keegan-Michael Key as Toad,
which I can see. I can see him do it.
Fred Armisen as
Armisen.
Yeah, I want to say Armisen. As Cranky Kong. Kevin Michael Richardson as, was it Kamek? Kamek, is that correct?
I have to look up who that is. I'm not sure who Kamek is.
I think that's the little wizard guy. Little wizard guy with
the wizard. Okay, that's Kamek.
The wizard. Yeah.
And then Sebastian Maniscalco. Yep, nailed it as Spike.
Yeah, I couldn't say his name either, so I'm with you there, Cream.
So, let's start off with Chris Pratt. A typical Italian voice, or
okay. So let's talk about Mario and Luigi here. This is not what I wanted out of this movie. When they announced this and they said that Miyamoto's involved and Disney or fucking Disney, Jesus Christ, Nintendo's involved, and they're going to be watching over this, and they don't want a repeat of the previous Mario Brothers movie happening. They want to make sure it's true to the, the source material. Good animation studio involved, being watched over by the creator himself. I assumed that we were going to get a Nintendo Mario Brothers movie where the characters don't necessarily speak, because they don't need them to speak. It's just like it's going to lean into the animation, kind of like the cutscenes from the game.
Well, that's kind of difficult to do, because in a movie you need a character to speak. Like that's with Zelda. Like I would love it if Link did not speak in a Zelda movie, but you're going to have
but you have other characters speak.
Who would speak for Mario though?
I mean, look at Pokemon.
You don't need Mario.
Look at Detective Pikachu, right? You that doesn't work. I mean, that's a different example because
that worked.
Well, I mean, it worked, but Detective Pikachu is not the ideal Pokemon movie. I don't think anyone would say that.
It's not.
It wasn't a Pokemon movie.
You always have the trainer. The trainer is the one who speaks. Even in the cartoon, we watched a whole cartoon where the Pokemon don't need to speak. Pikachu cries, and little children are crying watching Pikachu die or whatever it is. He emotes, so there's the story is being told through emotion. With the Mario Brothers movie, I genuinely was under the assumption that I don't know, they would figure a way out that they didn't.
I can see why they're doing it.
Voices.
They have to, in order to have people be entertained. Because if you just have them running around saying nothing, people are gonna be like, "What the hell's going on?"
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's where you have to bring in another.
It's also stunt casting. They're grabbing all these big names so that they get more people to go. Because otherwise, it makes no sense having Chris Pratt as Mario.
So will Chris Pratt be doing an Italian impression, like a parody?
I did see a Twitter video on his Twitter page talking about
Twitter
that he was going to do a voice.
a Twitter page.
So he's going to do a voice.
I'm sorry, hold on. What you say? You saw a Twitter video about what?
Of Chris Pratt. Him speaking.
Jesus
that
Christ.
He was going to do a voice.
Boy can't speak today.
I know. This is like words.
Well, I'm waking up from the amazing Star Trek talk.
Okay. So you saw. So there's a video of Chris Pratt doing
that he posted himself.
He might not be doing it, but I guess somebody asked a question and he said that he's going to do an accent.
He's not doing the voice in the video. He's talking about that he is going to do a voice in the video. And
Okay. So it's not just
also the
talking.
original Mario voice actor is going to be in there in some way.
Charles Martinet.
Yeah. Sure. I'm assuming there's going to be some cameo or something like that.
Some kind of cameo.
Yeah. Sure, but I mean, I think it's impossible to think that they're going to have a Star Trek. They're going to have a Super Mario movie. Yeah, there's not going to be a Super Mario movie with them not talking.
They have.
This is weird, man.
So I was just thinking about. I agree with what you're saying. I was just thinking, how do you retain the quality of the Mario world and make the story interesting? And other movies have approached this. I'm sure somebody was sitting down and saying, well, I mean, how do I make a Lego movie? And they made a Lego movie and they were able to the real world to Lego transition that happens. Mm-hmm. I think that's I didn't expect that. And it was perfect and it feels perfect. And that's kind of what I was hoping for this to be. It's
that's
something
a little bit different though.
Yeah, but it's still a Mario movie. You could still whether or not it's people being sucked into a game or not, or if this movie is just going to be Mario in the Mario world, that might be a little boring. You know what I mean?
You have to have them talk, and
it depends on how they approach it. I think.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the movie. I'm not going to judge it. I'm just saying that my impression of it going forward was that this character's never speak beyond one or two catchphrases. So if we're going to get him to speak,
Mario.
Yeah, it's. I mean, how do you do that? How do you get that to be interesting and still not be totally a big bomb?
Well, throughout the years, we've heard Mario speak, but not a full blown
conversation.
He's
series,
speaking other mediums though.
6 catchphrases.
Old school cartoon.
That's true. So it's like it's not that it hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. So I mean, I guess so. The bar is not as high as I thought it was. I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah. Outside of them just doing accents or like impressions of some of these characters, I think. Do you think it's going to be anything more than just that? A Mario Brothers, like Mario saving Peach?
I think it's going to be more than that.
It's going to be what you expect. It's going to be safe.
Yeah.
It's going to be what Nintendo wants it to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be obviously to their market, which is children. They're going to.
So you don't think they're going to go down the Lego movie route where there was unexpected, the way the movie was bookended unexpectedly and very creatively?
No, but at least Lego was still able to reach the audience with the kids and everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
And also we're making it seem like Nintendo knows what they're doing with movies. We don't know.
Yeah, they don't. They really don't.
We don't know how they can handle movies. So even if it's Nintendo looking over their shoulders, they're not a movie company. So that doesn't really mean much, except that they're gonna stay true to the video game, the lore of Mario.
Yeah, if anything, and they might fuck it up even more.
Well, I think Nintendo's only overseen it just so it could be Nintendo. I've never seen, what is it called? What are those yellow creatures called in the movies that Illumination makes?
Minions.
Minions. Yeah, I've never seen those movies, but it appears to be popular. I just hope those are good movies. I mean, they made 3 movies already?
For us.
They're not. They're really not intended for adults.
Yeah,
they're
that's
very
kind of
low bar humor.
Yeah, and I think that's why they're getting these actors.
And single mothers. That's pretty much.
Well, single mothers, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
they have kids. So
yeah,
I mean, they're watching it. They have no one else to babysit their kids, so they're gonna watch it.
But I can't picture any.
It's a franchise that has a fart gun. That's where we'll leave it at that. Oh. There's a gun that makes fart sound effects.
But I can't picture on the amount of little images that they post of a minion saying something smart ass. Like on Facebook or whatever, memes. And usually it's a single mother that's always posting.
Yeah, but I can't picture any of these actors as these characters. Not even Jack Black, and I do like Jack Black, but as Bowser, I don't know. I've always seen Bowser like as more like a deeper voice, type character. And every time I picture Jack Black,
Bowser doesn't speak. We've never heard him speak.
We've not.
No, but
he's
you're
like,
right. It just were
cackles.
A giant, dragon creature. You don't expect it to be Jack Black.
Yeah. So I always see Jack Black as like an adult.
I wonder if he's gonna do his Jack Blackness too, which is gonna kill it, where he starts riffing and doing this.
Oh yeah, I hope Tenacious D is all over that.
Yeah. Only person I can honestly see in this whole thing, to be honest, if I had to, it would be either. Anna Taylor-Joy is the only person that I can see.
Yeah, that's the
one.
She
looks like Princess Peach.
Yeah, she has the voice.
She's gonna have to do no accent at all. She's just gonna have. Yeah. She's just talking a regal manner, and that's it. That's your Peach.
I mean, Anna Taylor-Joy. I mean, she's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, she's a good actor.
I'm not worried about her whatsoever.
But in that sense, I think they could have gotten anybody for Peach.
Yeah, they could have gotten anybody.
Sure, they could have
gotten anybody for Peach.
I think she would look good as a live-action Princess Peach.
Yeah, but we're not doing a live-action.
I know we're not, but when I see her, I'm not saying anything bad about her. When I see her, I think a live-action Princess Peach.
Well, because she's just white and blonde?
Pretty much.
Well,
that's it.
She has an extremely long neck.
She has a princessy feel, too, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. No, I get that. She definitely fits her. She could definitely fit that role. And sure, could they have gotten anybody? Maybe. I mean, they couldn't throw a Margot Robbie into that role, right?
They couldn't.
No,
they could have.
Why not?
You want her talking like this? Like any Wolf of Wall Street?
She's an actor. She can probably act. She's talking any. She's from Australia. Harley Quinn's not from Australia.
But you Margot Robbie. Listen to her voice. Do you think of her as a Princess Peach? Just close your eyes. Let's go into imagination.
I'm sure she can act in that manner.
I'm sure she could, but the thing is, would she necessarily be the best Peach? I think
if they threw Margot Robbie up there, everyone would have been going like, "Oh, okay, yeah, Margot Robbie." She fits in that with this cast perfectly fine. No one would have batted an eye.
Well, yeah, when you compare it to the rest of the cast, obviously, because it was a hodgepodge of people.
Maybe Margot Robbie's a bad example for what you're talking about. Like, Aquafina or something. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe.
I've been like, oh yeah, okay, maybe not.
Wanda Sykes.
Sure.
Wanda Sykes.
No.
Sure.
Come on, why not?
Bring her back.
Wanda Sykes.
But the thing is, like,
her nasally voice.
If you look at Luigi, right? Luigi, I would have never. If someone said, "Hey, Creamcast, close your eyes. You're in Super Mario World right now. It's World 2-2. Mario just died. Now there's Luigi. You have to voice him. And I'm gonna be like, I'm not gonna say Chris Day. Yes, that's the man that I want for Luigi.
Charlie Day.
See, exactly.
Chris Day's the brother, I think.
Chris Day. Yeah,
but I mean, it's no more ridiculous than fucking Idris Elba as Knuckles. So I mean, I don't know what I'm like. I'm not getting at anything.
That I can see though.
No, you can't. No, like that. That doesn't make any sense at all either.
But I can kind of see that.
Who cares?
No. The difference is
crosstalk.
Shut the fuck up. It is. Knuckles has never fucking. He does. Well, he has spoken.
Yeah,
hasn't he spoken?
I'm thinking like the old Sega.
He has like a deep voice for some reason, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, never mind. So my point was, I was like, we never even speak before.
Shut
the fuck. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Preemptively shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but never mind. Actually, I'm gonna shut the fuck up now. I don't know. It just. I think honestly, the reason why the whole thing feels weird is because we've never actually heard them speak.
I think in your mind you have a like.
Yeah, we know that. I think Italian.
We know the tone.
The thing is, we grew up with these people.
Mario.
Like some things don't mesh together.
Who?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Luigi the chef from The Simpsons.
The chef from The Simpsons. Like the super thick Italian accent.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, this
is the pizza for you.
Yeah,
but I don't see Chris Pratt talking about, I'm like,
oh, he's gonna have to do it. It's gonna be interesting.
I think it's Star-Lord.
I cannot wait for the Italian American groups to be outraged.
They're going to lose their fucking minds.
So
what the hell is they? What do they do? This is why I said don't make them talk. Just stick to this. Like, I mean, this is the powder keg.
Wait, so you can't wait for the Italian groups to get mad at
Italian American groups?
Italian American groups to get mad at a
Italian American stereotype,
of a Japanese made character.
Yes,
based off a different stereotype.
The voice.
People get burned.
Talk about the voice.
You say it's a Japanese made character that is based off of the Italian. So forth. So yeah, why wouldn't they be able to get mad about that?
I mean,
it's like me as a black man. If I make let's say hypothetically an Australian character as a black man, be voiced by a German person who doesn't speak anything like it. Doesn't sound like anything.
Very confused right now.
No, what I'm saying is,
you went down the hole too much.
It's saying it's talking about like why. Never mind. Fuck you guys. Turn your camera off.
Mr. Popo.
Can we all agree? Can we all agree though? When we're all playing Donkey Kong Country, we all have Seth Rogen's voice in our head. Let's get that banana. Yeah, we all do those.
I just think of Pineapple Express. No, I can't think of that. None of these people except for Anna Taylor-Joy I could actually see in this role.
Yeah.
Keegan Michael Key as Toad makes sense to me. I can see him with a high voice.
He has like a high pitch.
He does when he does a high voice, he could be Toad.
But it's Toad though. Toad doesn't. It's so weird.
Toad's voice is annoying.
Toad is the exposition character. He's the one that I've always envisioned as the one like providing exposition to what's going on. Yeah,
all the recent games he's been the one always tell you like, Mario, I just saw Peach go through this way. Blah, blah.
Yeah, and he's the one who teaches the
moves.
Yeah, and he teaches the players usually what to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I just feel weird about this. But we'll see how it goes. Hey, we have nothing to lose in this situation. We've already went through.
Yeah, we really don't.
We already went through one Super Mario Brother movie that was absolute batshit crazy when you can actually compare it to the
which I think fondly of.
Because you're a mad lad.
Yeah.
I don't think fondly of it whatsoever.
I mean, it existed. It was there. It happened. You should just embrace it. Is my feeling on it.
All I gotta say is,
I don't know if you should embrace it.
All I gotta say is, Idris Elba as Knuckles. Sega knows what they're doing with movies. That's all.
Sega knows what they're doing.
Last one, they do know what they're doing.
They do.
The first movie was good.
Let me just say that the original vision that Sega had, we never got to see. So I don't know if Sega knows what they're doing.
They do. They listen to the fans, and it paid off pretty well.
I'm just saying. Sega had a vision, and we never got to see Sega's true vision of that movie.
I still want
my Sonic.
That version of Sonic from the movies with the pod belly.
Yeah.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants that Sonic. He said, not my Sonic.
I like that Sonic. I like that Sonic. Yeah. He didn't talk, though. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so outside of this movie announcement, the big thing for me, and we had just talked about this other day, was Bayonetta 3 finally being released. A real trailer being released.
10,000 years later, finally.
3 years, but 4 years, but sure. But no, it's been a very long time. The one thing that I'm happy, I'm absolutely ecstatic that it has come about, it is finally here. I'm a little worried about it.
I see the worry.
I'm okay with being worried only because without without Nintendo, there would not be a Bayonetta 2. Sure. And without Nintendo, there would not be a Bayonetta 3.
Right.
But the thing is, looking at the trailer, and this is, of course, the evolution of anything. Things change over time. Bayonetta is known to be very risque. It's known for scantily clad Bayonetta and other women, but it's very action packed. It's not like we see nudity, but we know it's there.
It's a formula that it has.
But with Bayonetta, she stayed clothed the entire time. New gameplay mechanics. I don't really feel any type of way about it. I just don't want Bayonetta. How the best way to say it? I don't want it to be
watered down
or go to G-rated just to be on the safe side. I like how it was before. And
what was Bayonetta rated? I'm looking that up. Was it rated M?
You know what? I don't know.
I don't think it was rated M.
It might have been.
I'm looking at them, or you can. What is it? Well, let's look up the ratings for Bayonetta 1 and 2.
So, what do you mean ratings? Or like
the ESRB rating.
ESRB is so Bayonetta 1 was
T for teen
adults, so 18 years old. So I don't know.
No, that's not the ESRB rating.
No, yeah, I'm looking at this is like some weird like.
It's either
18,
like
it's Peggy 18. So it's Peggy 18.
Peggy
18 is, but that's not ESRB.
That's close enough.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, but it translates. It's either teen or mature or it's AO.
Bayonetta 2 ESRB.
Yes,
I'm looking up Bayonetta 2 ESRB ratings. It says it was M17 plus. So it was rated
M17.
Yeah.
What was 2?
That was Bayonetta 2. I'm sorry. Bayonetta 1.
Bayonetta 2 was M17. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Bayonetta 1 was M17.
Okay, so the transition to Disney, you didn't, or fuck, man,
Nintendo.
See, we're all getting screwed up, man.
The hell's going on here? The transition to Nintendo, they didn't lose anything, and I know there's no ESRB for 3 yet, but 2 was exclusive to
Switch,
Nintendo, correct?
Yeah, exclusive Switch.
Now, now, can you tell me this? Since you're the Bayonetta super fan.
Oh yeah, I love one MMO.
Was Bayonetta 2 built for the Switch, or was it acquired mid-production? That's the question.
Initially, I think it was required. It was acquired for the Switch and the Wii.
I think so. Yeah.
So it was sourced for the Wii. So they acquired a mature rated game.
Yes.
So So I mean, they would probably 3 would also be mature.
Yes, maybe for the action, but not for
sexual content.
Sexual content.
Yeah, the sexual.
Okay. So I never played 2. I played 1. In 2, is there a noticeable lack of TNA?
No.
No, it was about the same.
Yeah.
About the same?
About the same, yeah.
So I would say that your odds of 3 being the same are.
Well, 3 is under Nintendo completely.
Yeah, they
the trailer sucks. I'm gonna say
the physique of the character.
Well, no, say that again. Ed.
3 is under Nintendo completely. I think when 2 was on Nintendo, it wasn't originally for Nintendo.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Was it not made for Nintendo, or was like made production?
No, it was made for Nintendo, but Nintendo funded Platinum Games. So initially, I believe when Bayonetta 2 was announced, it was going to go to all consoles, but they couldn't get funding for it. Platinum Games could not get funding for it.
Okay, so that might be a difference right there.
So Nintendo took it over and said, we will fund it the rest of the game, and then they made a Switch and Wii U exclusive. Now, this Bayonetta 3, I think, is 100%, well, it's definitely still funded by Nintendo, but it may be based off the fact that Nintendo is saying, hey, this is going to be our game once again. We're going to fund this from the beginning. This is our game. And the only thing that really worries me about Bayonetta is, do I need sexual content for my game? No.
Yes.
Personally, no. I don't need it for myself. Okay. I love one-handed mode, but I don't need it. The thing is that the spirit of Bayonetta can change over time. Absolutely. Can games change and become more mature over time? Sure. I just hope that the spirit of Bayonetta stays the same. If they're gonna have her clothed the entire time, because the whole thing about Bayonetta was making her, she was sexy without being sexy. She was she was empowered by her sexiness, but it wasn't like her main strength. It was her strength, but it wasn't like. It was there, almost like the fan service. It was just fan service, really, at the end of the day. And that's what made Bayonetta just Bayonetta.
It was her personality, too. The way she walked, the way she talked.
Yeah, like
all about
she
sexiness.
owned it.
Yeah, she owned it. And the one thing that one of the comments and the reason why, I hate, like, when Ed Underground does this, but I'm doing this right now, of looking at the comments. The only reason why I'm saying this is because, as a man, I might say, oh, yeah, I like the sexuality on it because, it looks great, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, there's no big deal. There's no problem with it. So, but I was looking at comments from women, and the women were like, I don't want to have a game where being sexy needs to be censored. Like, there are women who can be conservative, dressed, and be empowered and strong. Like, you think of like The Last of Us, right? Last of Us 2 is not about sexy women whose hair turns into body armor and so forth, and they're naked half the time. It's women doing women things, straight women, gay women, whatever. It's just women being women in the natural world. And you could have your main characters be women and be all woman power and so forth. Great. But there can also be women who are just being, sexy, if they want to be sexy, and just be just as empowered as a woman. It's just like a man, and I feel like this is like the weird kind of setup where, people get upset about women being sexy in the video game and they get outraged. But like we see like men represented in movies and everything else in different mediums is always, the buff, strong guys and so forth.
Exactly.
Super swole and so forth. And then
nobody gets outraged.
Nobody does.
And it's just like there needs to be a great balance. It's okay to have a great balance. A woman can be scantily dressed, and women feel the same way. They feel empowered by that. As the same thing as a woman being conservative, and the same thing for men. There could be men who have 8-packs and so forth. And I'm sitting here as a fat fuck, like, damn, I wish I could be like that, but I'm not outraged by it. And if there was a video game series made with like Metal Gear Solid, right? Like, these guys are always jacked and in shape and so forth, cutting robots in half and all this other stuff. I'm not sitting there and be like, damn, you know what? They didn't really need to censor that.
But Metal Gear Solid is not a good example.
Wait,
Metal Gear Solid is not a good example.
Pause real quick. Read the comments, by the way.
I read it. Okay. I read it.
Yeah. I want to say something really quick though. The new Saints Row. You notice how like the women in the Saints Row game, they're pretty much covered, and people like said stuff about it, but no one said anything about the guy with his shirt off. Not one person said anything about it.
Guy with his shirt off?
Yeah, there's a guy in the new Saints Row.
Can you have them run around in their underwear? I seem to remember Saints Row. You could do whatever the hell you want.
Saints Row is pretty extreme. It's a
guy with his shirt off.
Yeah.
Such a fun
So
game.
this new Saints Row game that's coming out, people are not looking forward to it because the trailer looks like a very very woke, watered down Saints Row. Yeah, they went from pretty much you can do almost anything in Saints Row till now like very woke.
Well, I mean the Saints Row game is coming out in a completely different political climate, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a different game. I don't know if you can push the same boundary anymore that you used to.
It's kind of the same thing about Bayonetta 3. Like Bayonetta 3, that formula of her, empowering or being part of her sexy personality, that's Bayonetta. If you take that out of Bayonetta, I don't know if it'll be the same game. It's like taking something that's.
Does that affect the gameplay? Like, I mean, it would affect the character, but I don't think there's a part where there's a button to slut her up or anything for any reason.
I think there would be a personality change because there are certain things that you can't say in Bayonetta 3. Wow.
No, I'm getting real.
But okay, so there's no. It's not part.
Is there a button?
No, but no, there's no button to. Well, there is technically to.
All right, I'll cancel my download.
But
I was downloading it right now.
Yeah, he's downloading. He's acting like he's outraged. No, like it's kind of like when you think about it. How I kind of look at it is like with looking at Dante. Like if you're gonna compare a game to a game, right? Bayonetta is very close to Devil May Cry. If you had Devil May Cry, where instead of this guy being a super in shape, demon hunter who has, a nice body, you had
a man who owns many jackets but no shirts.
Yeah, no shirts. Especially if you're talking about Devil May Cry 3. This guy, and then you come with him with a guy with, big, he has, bitch tits, he's super fat, out of breath when he walks and so forth. People would be like, this is people. Well, I think for most men wouldn't complain. We would just be like, whatever. That's just part of his character. But literally the appeal of Devil May Cry is his personality, his I guess male sex appeal and so forth. That is what makes him who he is. And same thing with Bayonetta. Bayonetta's sex appeal makes her who she is. I don't think that. I understand that companies need to be safe, and I understand that as a corporation, you want to be inclusive, not exclusive, and bring in as many people as you can. I just don't want Bayonetta. Like we've had 2 games of Bayonetta, and I'm not saying I want Bayonetta stripping, butt naked, and just being naked and so forth, but like women power. But this is a rated M game. This is not like this is.
It's not a kid's game.
If this is a kid's game,
and it's also the aesthetic. You want that Bayonetta aesthetic. You don't want,
I don't want, Bayonetta and have her G rated. I want her Bayonetta M rated. It doesn't have to be gratuitous, but at the same time.
Yeah, but what are we talking about here? She doesn't there's no full on sex scenes in this game. It's just like playful TNA, right? That's what we're talking about?
Yeah,
you got wink and a nod kind of
they
stuff.
almost like cross the line. You're like right there about to cross the line.
Like she'll be changing outfits and she'll be like spread eagle, and right before it her armor, which is her bike, which is made out of hair, just before you get to see anything, the camera will move. And that's the thing, like it's playful TNA. Is necessary for her character. I just don't want her to become censored just for the fact of trying to be woke or be safe. Like let the character be the character.
Now here's the question though. Like when we play this game, characters. What would you say, Green Tuner?
I'm saying there's room out there for mature characters. They should, some need to stay mature.
Right. Here's what I'm saying. Like, if this game were to come out, would we notice? Is the question. That's the here's the thing. Right now,
by itself,
right now. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Right now, we're in this like outrage culture. There's like this extreme outrage culture. People on the far right are outraged by censorship. People on the far left are outraged by the reverse. It's like every like a trailer drops and a character is not in the right costume, and there's this outrage culture. Like people are pre-designed to get pissed off over every little thing. So my question is, if this game were to come out and there was not enough, I don't know if there's a scale of TNA you want in the game, but let's say you never noticed it. You know, you went through the whole game. Yeah, game's fun, gameplay mechanic, boss battles, and you never noticed that, oh, I never saw her ass the whole game. Like, would that, like, are we going to notice it now that because we're talking about it? You know what I mean? And there's like, now the game hasn't even come out yet. It's only going to build. And now they're going to be in a spot where they have to show some sex appeal from her. And if they don't show it, every 2 days, some YouTuber is going to make a video on they're destroying Bayonetta. Every little shred of information they release, they'll milk it to death.
I see it like this. If Bayonetta had none of that in there from the beginning, and then all of a sudden in number 3 it was in there, I would notice. I wouldn't like it. But let's take this for example. Deadpool. We all know how Deadpool is in the comic books and movies. Now he's owned by Disney. If Disney goes in the direction of making Deadpool watered down, more kid friendly or whatever, I'm going to notice it. I'm not going to like it because we all know how Deadpool is. And it's kind of the same thing with Bayonetta. If Bayonetta all of a sudden went from having this sex appeal, empowerment, and stuff like that, going almost crossing the line, all of a sudden.
But I think that's with Deadpool, it is like he's an R-rated character and he's acknowledges it's part of his shtick. Like he does. Well, I think is it with Bayonetta?
We just looked at the
when they
rating.
display the character and the transformation.
We did look at the rating, but like when I'm saying, but what I'm saying is that line we were talking about. Is that it? Like if they were to, as a creative decision, to be like, all right, we don't need to do this one element because it's not relevant to the game or the gameplay, would we notice it outside of this conversation?
Yes,
well, yeah,
you would.
Because I'm bringing what I'm saying into this conversation, and this is even without you guys, even without this podcast. Well, fuck you guys. I don't need you guys. I'm gonna think the exact same thing. I'm gonna think like my opinion is not gonna change. When I watch the trailer, I mean, I'm gonna let me preface it with this. I will play Bayonetta no matter what. Whether she's, because right now Bayonetta, what we see from the trailer, she's more like a K-pop star, right? You know, with the dancing, the moves, and so forth, which really mimic what Bayonetta was for 1 and 2. The big change between 1 and 2, now 3, is that she might have the exact same moves, but guess what? 1, she's, you know, when she does her transformations, she is losing clothes. The third one, she's staying fully clothed. Now she's doing like this whole, she's remotely controlling the stuff just, you know, on screen while she's fully clothed through her power. Like Ed said, like if they did not do that from Bayonetta 1 and 2, I wouldn't trip on 3. And the same thing, if they did reverse, where she was clothed in 1 and 2, and now she's butt-ass naked in 3, I'd be like, what the hell just happened? This is a little weird. It's literally, if you've built the character over now, I mean, Bayonetta came out, I mean, this is, now I would say almost a decade, maybe a decade almost. You now are changing the character because of X, Y, Z. Now, you can change it how you want to. I'm just noticing that there's a change. All I'm saying is that there is, just like what Green Tuna said, there's a space for mature characters. Right now, even now in this woke period, there are still room for mature characters. And just like with Deadpool, Ed brought up a great point. If Disney now taking over Deadpool, and we've seen this in the news, where Disney is, we don't know the future of Deadpool, where Disney is struggling, like it's making news that Deadpool may be rated R for the next one. For the third Deadpool movie, it may be rated R. The reason why it's making news because so many people do care about that character, that his R-rated behaviors is what makes him him. So because of that, it's making the news. Same thing with Bayonetta. Her sexiness is what made her character, her owning it. That's everything, like her jokes, everything came from that. Her moveset came from that. So now you're changing it, you're taking that element out. Like I said, I don't need to like sit here and, you know, be.
Well, we don't know, to be fair, how much has been changed yet.
Well, even the director said, someone asked the director, like, hey, will you have a mode, or will you have nudity as you had before in Bayonetta 3. And the director said something of the effect of, hold my beer. We got something coming. So will there be maybe a closed mode versus a traditional mode? Sure. And I'm not one of those people that be like, oh my God, I need Bayonetta 3 or I'm going to boycott. I think we got to be careful. And even with past conversations we've had about certain stuff, outrage is kind of a strong language. Like, you could disagree about something and then have your opinion. It's not necessarily, I'm not outraged by it. I'm not going to boycott Bayonetta. When Bayonetta comes out, I'll be one of the first dudes to play it. And I'm going to be the first guy to unlock one-hand mode, play Bayonetta with one hand and other hand on my desk, like the good Christian man I am.
You elevate to the point where you're just playing with your toes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is a double-handed operation. But that's the thing, like, Bayonetta, for the most part, it is what it is. Don't change the character. And this is not just for Bayonetta. This is for any type of character in the future. Don't stop changing characters. I'm not tripping about, shirtless guys being all buff when I'm sitting here not buff myself. I feel like there's a place for women to express themselves however they want to.
Yeah, there is.
And the same thing for men. There's ways for men to express themselves how they want to. Like, when characters turn out to be gay in certain movies or in certain games, I'm like, hey, there's space for gay characters. There's a space for straight characters. There's for non-binary characters. However you want to do it, that's fine. But once you establish a character, keep that character established. Now, there's things you can do a little bit more tastefully than others, but so if you establish a character, keep that character the same. Simple as that.
All right. Well, and hear that, ladies? If you don't like it, there's a game called called Cooking Mama. Right? I think I summed it up pretty well.
Well, this was the last episode of the Blur Podcast.
Yep, this has been the Blur Podcast, episode 17. You guys can never catch us on any streaming platforms ever again because we have just been canceled. Good job.
We've been banned from Twitter for eternity.
Hey, Underground, why did you say that?
Say what?
Yeah.
Why did you say that about Cooking Mama? That is so messed up.
I said, up, man. What?
Yeah, you can. If you want to hear more crazy stuff like that, go to the Underground Twitch at twitch.tv. Where you hear
make sure to send all your comments there.
All your comments need to go there, please. The funny thing is, Ed did not actually. He did not host this today, so that's why we only have.
I did.
You did? I don't see the Ed Underground.
It's on my channel.
I'm going to look, and if I don't see the Ed
usual, our usual viewers aren't there.
Our usual 2 viewers.
Hey, we have hundreds. Yeah.
Don't you say that about Burrito.
Oh, no, he is hosting it. Okay. We don't have anybody. No one's here, man. That makes me sad.
We need to start updating people beforehand.
I mean, my plan is to make nonstop controversial comments on Twitch, so that'll get us the views.
You're doing a great job on that.
Flip it and ship it now. Do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
all right, Eduardo.
Yeah, take us out.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode
17.
17. All right.
17. Jeez.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 17 of the Blurred Podcast. You can find us on all major platforms, and we go live recording at twitch.tv/the Blurred Podcast. Until next time, catch you later.
No blurry later. Nothing.
Please, blurry later.
Jeez. Use the catchphrase.
Boycott China.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my.
Trump won.
We're not live. He is transition.
Are we still live?
Are we still live?
Yeah.
Trump won.
Oh, God.